Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Was
Let me get
good.
up here. Oh, do that. Let's see.
I'm trying to get my adjustments adjusted as well.
Right.
This wild man. Facebook be with the fuckery for real.
Um, all right, so boom, got you tagged up on that. And then take this.
Oh, hey, it allowed me to add that shit to my profile and shit.
Oh, for real? Let me
Hell yeah.
see.
I'm
Oh,
finna look
yep,
at
yep. I see it. It's up.
it's on my page.
And I'm finna drop the link on the other one just in case.
Let's see.
The YouTube link. But I
Oh,
do
okay,
see it
yeah.
though.
Yeah, it's on the page. Yeah, it's up there. That's lit.
Got my man's in Facebook jail, boy.
Man, and a clinker.
What you do
That
to
is
the
fun.
peoples, man? What you do to the peoples?
Man, you know Facebook hella sensitive and shit. They be crying and
Right.
shit about silly shit. Silly as shit. Before we even get into that, look, let's start off the show.
Right.
Welcome to another episode of Free Your Mind Podcast, where you can come free your mind and help others free theirs. I'm the co-host, and I go by the name of Woon, and I'm all about balance like the sun and the moon. What's poppin'?
Yes, sir. I'm the other co-host. I go by the name of Self-Made. Gotta tap in with self to know thyself. Always.
All day, every day.
You feel me?
I got my little beard comb popping and shit. You feel me? But yeah, man. So they I made a post, man, saying I was gonna steal a beach cruiser like Debo because of the gas, and they shut me down for that shit. Not immediately, but I guess somebody wasn't feeling that shit. Somebody at Facebook staff got their bike stolen before, and they was like, "Nah, nigga,
Right.
we ain't
It's
having
on
none of
you.
that shit. You damn bike
It's
thief."
the algorithm and shit. So you say a certain word, nigga, they finna look at your shit, flag it. I'm seeing a whole bunch of more people just getting flagged today. Like, oh shit. This is
Yeah.
just getting flagged for like 24 hours. They ain't even getting. Remember the Facebook jail? Like, you be in there for a month,
For a
you
whole
get
30.
3 months.
Yeah.
Man, now they just doing these little 24-hour ones. I don't
Yeah.
know what they got popping.
For saying the word steal, I had my whole background was a laugh emoji background, meaning that the shit was a joke. So why is
Right,
Facebook taking it so goddamn serious?
bruh.
I didn't tag nobody and say I'm gonna steal your shit. I was just making a blanket joking statement. Facebook, god damn, y'all niggas be bugging.
They,
Free
they
that
don't
nigga Woon.
understand humor. Right. Get my nigga out the cages. What's up with the chat, man? Anybody in the chat? Drop a comment, a like, a share, a subscribe.
Definitely. Shout out to the chat. Y'all be fucking with us on the regular.
On the regular for sure. And today finna be a juicy one.
Hell yeah. Should I pop this bottle early just so so
You'd be already ready, yeah. You might as well
yeah, fuck it, right?
be already ready and shit.
I tried to switch up my bottle selection today and shit. They got this one. I mean, it's still Bel Air and shit, but they had the black bottle of rose, but they had all type of different designs on there. And I grabbed. I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna do something different. And then the chick that was at the thing, she was like, hey, you don't fuck with that brew. And I was like, yeah. I'm like, well, just pop it. And she was like, yeah, that shit is, we got to put a dub right now. I said, nigga, let me get two. Put that one back. Let me get two. See, am I glitching? Is it glitching?
You're not glitching. I was gonna say, but your voice is doing something, nigga. It's like crackling.
See, already.
I don't know why. Say something.
Now I'm froze on my end for a show.
Uh, you're not froze. You're not froze over here. It's just crackling. Oh yeah, I can't hear you now. Your shit done went all the way out. Wool's been having some technical difficulties on his end. The last show, this show, I don't know what's going on, man. That Vegas weather or something, bruh.
Yeah, and Vegas, and the crazy thing, it's not even that hot as it usually is out here. That's some fucked up shit.
Right.
But what I'm gonna do is let me,
It's
because again,
solid
like I
now though.
said, but I don't want that shit to go back out.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah.
so what I you know what I want to do? How can I do this shit? I'm about to switch. I'm about to switch my fucking networks real quick. I'm coming right back in.
All right, for sure. Yeah, sometimes you just gotta do that. These networks, man, they don't want us to get this info out. Damn, this look like it's freezing. Hey, let me know in the chat if y'all in here watching if it's freezing. Okay, no, that one looks solid.
This shit just gonna come in, bro. Can you hear me?
I hear you, but yeah, that shit just came in froze for sure.
Come in, bro. They ain't fucking with me like that. I'm gonna try to
It's a,
see.
Safari was better if you know what I mean. Like it seemed like the only thing you would have to do from the Safari side is if your voice start crackling or some shit, just go out and come back in. But that shit, everything else was solid.
Yeah, nah, but that shit on my end, that shit was like froze like a motherfucker. So let me
That's probably why the voice had went out because on my end it still looked at you feel me. Everything was still cool.
that shit is fucking trash, boy. Can I just leave that up and say fuck it?
Like,
Nope,
hey, look,
it ain't fucking with me. All
oh
right.
yeah, nah, that ain't nah.
Nah,
I thought you
that
was
was the
just
first
talking about the
background.
picture.
Yeah. Is there an option to just put a picture up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. I don't think so.
All right, they're just gonna have to see this voice box movement.
Yeah.
Am I coming in delayed?
Nah. Everything's solid. As far as the
Oh,
voice, yeah.
oh, okay, yeah, no, it's up there. We can just rock just like this.
Yeah, man. They don't want you on here. They don't want you on Facebook, bro. What you got popping?
None of that shit. Like, shut this nigga down.
Yeah. For
This would have
real.
never happened on MySpace.
He said MySpace.
Hey, but yo, I feel like a guest being on this side of this shit. That's.
I know, right? We in here though, man. We
Hey,
in here. We gotta.
you think I should try to do the guest link?
What you mean, like on your phone?
Yeah, I might. Well, it's not
The
that
phone.
important for
That
me to.
phone might work.
Yeah, the phone might work. I
Mm-hmm.
just have to rearrange my whole setup though.
Yeah, you could try that. See if that worked. Um, the link in the chat.
Yeah, nah, I'm on it right now. But in between time, man, what's before we even get into the actual shit, right? Uh, about Kanye and the White Lives Matter shit. Um,
Mm.
Motherfuckers was saying that I guess how Kanye is putting out his new clothes and shit. Um, I guess he don't got a situation to where you can actually go hit the racks or pick the shit off the wall. You got to go through like a trash bag or some shit and pick out the shit that you want.
What?
Right.
Like,
um,
where's this trash bag at?
like in the stores, like whatever stores that carry his clothing, like you gotta got. It's kind of like, I guess it's kind of like, because I didn't see the shit, but I guess it's kind of like 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 if you were at like a donation spot or some shit, and they just got bags of clothes, and you just pick through the clothes or whatever it were. I said, this nigga Kanye is goddamn fool.
That's ill, man.
That nigga Kanye be on one.
Yeah, I don't know what he got popping. Whatever he doing though, like he know how to get the people's attention with his statements and you know what I'm saying, like all the shit that he be doing.
Right.
There we go. Because yeah, I seen a lot of people. A lot of people. I seen a lot of people talking about that and sharing the little. And is that a part of his line?
What, that as far as how he's selling it?
The White Lives Matter shirts.
Oh, man. You want to know what? Knowing him, it might be.
I know. uh,
Knowing him, that
it's a
shit
good.
just might be.
It's a good publicity stunt.
That's a fact. These niggas, hell nah, bro. They're bugging. Hold up. But yeah, nah, but for the most part, man, Kanye, every other day, he got something popping, man. Um, I don't see why people is kind of like really shocked. You can still hear me?
Yeah, yep. I'm over here on this other shit, just
Oh,
checking this shit
okay.
out. But yeah, I hear you.
I don't know why people are still shocked, especially after he started wearing the MAGA hats, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like he already made that statement. So it's just like, you kind of like got to leave so many different reserves for Kanye. Because you really never know what he gonna say, what he gonna have top of this shit. Like, you know what I mean?
Right, right.
What the fuck is my goddamn?
Shit. There you go. I'm new. Hey, we is streaming on Twitch. I had to come over here real quick. I ain't been on this Twitch stream in a minute. I had to see what was popping.
Oh no, yeah, it's up. I gotta do a whole maneuver type shit. Hold on.
And I think we on Twitter now that I think about it.
One sec.
Yes, sir.
Oh, word. Yep, nah, yeah, we gonna let me see. You might have to rock this thing just because my whole my phone shit tripping.
For real? The phone tripping too?
Yeah, you know how they be trying to tell you to do the
The mic shit?
okay, yeah, okay. That feedback is crazy.
Yeah, that's way better.
Hold on, let me. I gotta set my phone somewhere.
Shit.
But in between time, I'm gonna still talk on this one. But let me.
God
Damn.
We getting it, man. We getting it. If you're still in here with us, just bear with us for a second.
Yeah, I just gotta fucking. What the fuck? What can I use? They're gonna have to get super creative and shit. But anyway,
Right.
hold on, wait, is that? See the delay on my. Yeah, I got a delay on my phone and shit too. That's fucking garbage.
I'm telling you,
I
there's something
swear,
going
like,
on out there, bro. We
yeah,
got something popping out there.
yeah, nah. I'ma just rock how this is, which
Right,
is
right, right.
I hate not showing my face. Like that shit seems boosty as hell.
You got well shit. If that shit happen again, nigga might have to get you one of them built in or them separate cameras with the speaker on it or something.
Yeah, nah, definitely. That's a fact. Let me see if this shit gonna give me some justice. Look,
It's working.
I'm staying. I'm gonna stay. When it start freezing, then I'm back out this bitch.
You gotta yeah, right. You're gonna be refreshing in and out and shit.
Fuck, it's crazy as hell.
Damn.
But what was we talking about? Where was we at?
We was talking about Kanye's White Lives Matter
Oh
T-shirt.
yeah, yeah. That might be a part of that nigga's line for sure. Just knowing him, but it's funny, man. And for the people that's out there, and I have to say it just like this, I was not really a fan of the Black Lives Matter movement, just to keep it a fucking band, like you know what I mean.
What
And
you trying to say? What you trying to say, bro?
that's exactly it. I'm gonna tell you guys why, of course, because that just sounds like hella crazy and shit, right? Like, well, this nigga don't support black people.
Right.
And for the people who don't know, just the background and shit, like, I'm a student of the 60s and shit, like, you know what I mean? So I studied the Panthers like a motherfucker, huge influence, and my upbringing all the way up to now and shit to current day. So I did a lot of studying with the Panthers, with the Black Liberation Army, but just a whole lot of different movements that was going on in the 60s and shit. But anyway, so when I got wind of what the Black Lives Matter shit was, well, first they had recreated they had like a new Black Panthers and shit, right? And I seen the leader. And when I seen the leader, he was on TV. He was like, "Yeah, we hate all white people and such and such and such." And all this extra shit. I'm like, "Nah, that's not popping." Like, you know what I mean? So,
Right.
that hate group shit, because the real Panthers wasn't, that wasn't a part of they get up. Like, you know what I mean? So when I saw that, I was automatically turned off. But anyway, fast forward to the Black Lives Matter shit, right? When I first seen it, I was just like, okay, somebody, out there trying to, get something popping and shit again. Okay, yes, up. So, my partner, rest in peace, Curtis, um, he ended up telling me that that he knew the lady that was in charge of the Sacramento chapter and shit, right? I was like, yeah, hey, plug me, like, you know what I mean? Let me see what that shit do, like, you know what I mean? Because I'm still trying to figure this shit out. And
Yeah.
so he plugged me with her name, because I ain't gonna blast her name, but he plugged me with her name and shit. And so I hit her up on a book. I'm like, hey, what is the what is this movement about? And she was like, yeah, such and such, you got to go to the website. Like, website? I'm like, we talking right now. Like, tell me what the shit is about. Like, you know what I mean? But
Right.
I just took it like she was busy and shit. So I was just like, like, okay. Went to the website. Now, the Black Panther had a 10-point program and shit. Like, you know what I mean? So I read that shit, studied that shit, kind of damn near. At that time, I had it like memorized and shit. So I look at their shit, and they kind of like had the same thing. They had like a 10-point program. And when I was looking at it, everything was centered around police brutality. Like, you know what I mean? Like, as if that's the only thing that make Black lives matter. Like, you know what I mean? So I was just like, police, okay, yeah, that's cool. Police, okay, yeah, that's cool. Then all the way down to 10, everything was talking about the police. And I'm just like, well, where is, like, education? Where is, like, living conditions? Where is other, everything, right? Because basically, I still got the Panther state of mind, like, you know what I mean. So, I saw that, I'm just like, yeah, like, it's cool, but it kind of was just like, yeah, if y'all just talking about the police, then yeah, that's some different shit. So I was kind of like turned off, but that was just that, like, you know what I mean. But the overall thing, why I didn't fuck with it, is because in my mind, it kind of seemed like they were kind of like mocking Black people in a sense, like, you know what I mean.
It was
When it comes
something.
down, like, when it come down to saying, like, Black lives matter, like, who the fuck, like, why do you need to come out and say that, like, you know what I mean. And I understand certain things were transpiring and shit for people to, like, maybe even think about it, but at the same time, it's just like, like, if you got it, no disrespect to nobody, but if you got like some family members or some kids or whatever with special needs, and you be like, yeah, little man could do it, like, you know what I mean. And it's just like they treat you with that, okay, come on, yeah, you got it, you matter, come here, like, you know what I mean, to try to give you that extra umph. I think you muted out.
I said putting that spotlight on it.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
like
saying?
niggas. Yeah, and I took that shit like niggas is like, they treat niggas like handicapped. Like, you know what I mean? Like, niggas, like, they, like, we need to get that extra, umph and push, and, like, you know what I mean? It's just like, nah, nigga, we
Right.
up. Like,
Yeah.
what it's like, I don't need that. Don't do me a favor. Don't do me no favors. Like, you know what I mean? That was my attitude
Yeah,
about it. I'm
that
like,
part. Yeah.
ain't nobody out here, nigga, helpless. Like, you know what I mean? Niggas is up. Like, you know what I mean? So that was my whole attitude. So when I seen that, and then, just what came right behind that shit was the hands up, don't shoot. So now only are we not, top tier because Black Lives Matter, because, we're such a lower class. They matter too type shit. And then hands up, don't shoot. And then I can't breathe. So all of these different things are coming out, and it's just like, nigga, what the fuck is we? And remember, at that point in time, niggas was literally laying down in the street talking about I can't breathe. Niggas was literally hands up, don't shoot. Talking to some police that'll pop your ass if your ass got a fucking your
Man,
like, you know what I mean? So
it
that
was
whole
helping them niggas.
that whole Black Lives Matter movement, to me, it was just like, nah, that was a mock shit. Like, you know what I mean?
Hey,
And
the
it
police
kind of
probably
just,
came up, nigga, during that whole time frame. Them police niggas then got hella overtime. Them niggas was coming up
it's a
off of
fact.
all of that shit. I'm telling
Yeah,
you,
anytime.
I went to one of the marches. I went to one of the marches that was they did in Sac. And I wasn't like same shit. Like, I wasn't with none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? I used to tell people like, why is niggas downtown marching around and shit. You know what I mean? And ended up going because one of the homies was like, bro, I want you to come out there and experience this shit. So I pulled up, and I'm just out there, bro, and I'm an observer and shit. So I be sitting in the back chilling, looking around and shit, and I'm just seeing too much shit, bro. I'm like, there's hella cameras. People was on top of buildings and shit, taking photos, like looking down at us and shit. And I'm like, the way my mind work, I'm like, that could be a sniper. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm thinking about any and everything, just being that you trying to promote something that's like you said, putting a spotlight on it. You know what I'm saying? So that whole area was just in my mind, nigga, a big ass spotlight. You know what I'm saying? Everybody looking out the window and just like all eyes was on us. And
Right.
On top of that, it was weird. I found it kind of like, I don't even know what type of term to give it. It was kind of just awkward to see more white people than black people at a Black Lives Matter thing. You feel me? And I was just like, man, you niggas is. I'm looking at them like y'all some infiltrators or something. Like, what y'all got popping? You know what I'm saying? What y'all doing here? I mean, I get the support. You know what I'm saying, for sure. But it's like,
that kind of go with it. That kind of go with the point that I was trying to make when it comes down to, yeah, we do need to support them. They're a lower class. We need to help them build them up. Like, so that's how I took it. Like, nigga, I mean, of course, if we're gonna talk about some human rights or some goddamn civil rights, then okay, yeah, we could talk about something. But when we make it about race, man, it's just too many different ways how it could be flipped and changed and shit. So me personally, when it comes down to the all lives matter, I'm just like, okay, you know, they trying to flip the narrative. Okay, yeah, that's cool. Probably because some niggas was saying some shit that I'm saying, the same shit that I'm talking about right now. Like, all right, we just ain't gonna single these niggas out as everybody. So this is just my mind, because Kanye be doing some slick shit like on a under and shit, like, you know what I mean? If you catch it, you catch it.
Mm-hmm.
But for him to come out with saying white lives matter, and the same instance that I'm saying that they were saying Black Lives Matter, that if that's how he's saying it, that nigga's a fucking fool for real. Just like, nigga, like, we're not, you don't need to worry about us. It's up. White lives matter. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they might need that extra help or extra food. Like, you know what I mean? And I think that people need to look at it from that perspective and see, like, kind of like, you know, what he's trying to do right there. Like, you know what I mean? As opposed to saying, oh, this nigga's a coon. Oh, this nigga's a sellout. Oh, this nigga's, and again, man, and I hate to say it like that, Kanye is a Gemini. I'm a Gemini. So, like, you know what I mean? There's certain things that I do that would be totally the opposite, or playing devil's advocate of what something really is, just so it can switch the frame of mind of the message that you're trying to push. Like, you know what I mean? Because sometimes you can't come out and tell people, you know, straight up what you want to say, or so you got to say some different shit that'll make you think. And if you're not even on this type of wavelength, then of course I'm a coon. If you're not on this wavelength, of course I'm a sellout. But nigga, watch how I move though. Like, you know what I mean? Like, keep the game. Like, you know what I mean? And I think that a lot of people are quick to write a lot of people off simply because they don't understand.
Yeah, that's a real thing too. I mean, you see what they did to the Black Lives Matter shit, and it was all them niggas that was breaking shit. They try to pin all that shit on them. Like, oh yeah, the Black Lives Matter, they're a terrorist group. They out here fucking shit up and fucking the city up and shit. And it wasn't even people a part of the. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, yeah, nah, we need to put the spotlight, like, keep that shit, like, you know, off of us, nigga, like, on that type of time. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't need none of that. We good. We straight.
Now going back, you know, just to the Black Lives Matter shit, in my mind, if they would have came out and said, hey, black people is dope, how many people would have been with that movement? Like, you know what I mean? How many people would have supported that, wore the shirt, went to the market? The black people is dope movement? What? We matter. We dope. Just think about it.
You would still have some haters, though. It'd be some haters like a motherfucker with that shit. So what you trying to say? White people ain't dope? The Mexicans, they ain't dope? Like, nigga, come out with your own shirt then. Come out with your own shit.
Just like, you know, just with these different movements, man, you just gotta watch, you know, what motherfuckers is talking about, seeing what's popping. You know, I don't really be in mainstream media like that anyway. But of course, social media, when I caught wind of that shit, I automatically went to, you know, the other side of what Kanye was probably doing. Probably. Because you know Kanye
Yeah.
a businessman too, so
That's what I'm saying.
you gotta leave
Anything
you
on that
alone.
type of time,
Yeah,
anything on that type of time is, you feel me? It's a stunt. Like they making money. You know what I'm saying? Remember
fact.
all the shit with the cheating shit? I seen people posting. I forgot who it was, or which celebrity. I know it was a black couple though.
Nia fucking Long.
Nia Long, and she
Yeah,
got cheated on. I'm just like, wow, she finna come out with a relationship book in the next couple of weeks, and that shit finna sell out. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't be taking anything I start seeing on this entertainment screen, bro. I do not take literal at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's always about. It's either I'm a nigga provoke your emotions to talk about it more, which is promoting my business. You know what I'm
facts.
saying? Or you already gonna understand what it is that I'm doing. Like, you know what I'm saying? So no matter what, it's all fucking promotion for whatever they got popping every single
That's
time,
a fact.
bro.
This
So
nigga, not to switch the subject, but it's kind of like still related. I just now watched a Lav D interview and shit, right? And he
mm,
said that, well, he said it before that like certain people was blackballing this nigga and shit or whatever, which is probably true like a motherfucker.
mm-hmm.
But he was saying that he was trying to get interviews from certain quote unquote mainstream like podcasts or radio shows and shit like that. And he was saying that they was charging this nigga the bag, like you know what I mean? Like they was really trying to charge this nigga the bag. And like, bruh, like I know what y'all do. Like you ain't charging, whoever like that. Like you know what I mean? But
Right,
just because
right.
you might be charging a little bit more. But anyway, so he said what he did was this nigga put out a goddamn he had some of his people say that they robbed this nigga for his jewelry and shit, right?
I
And he
seen that,
said,
bro.
yeah, the same niggas that was telling him no, we ain't doing an interview for this, we ain't doing shit like that was the first motherfuckers to post this nigga anyway. He was nigga, they didn't post me on my type of time. So nigga, I flipped it and then they posted me anyway on some negative
Right.
like shit, something that I did from the gate and still backdoored that shit anyway and still got the promotion and dropped an album. Like, you know what I mean?
Bruh. Positive, negative, that shit all the same. Whether you loving or hating, like, you know what I'm saying? The publicity, like, motherfuckers is seeing that. So
Yeah.
yeah,
All
that's that.
what's that said? That old Hollywood saying all publicity is good publicity or some shit.
Like for reals, you feel me? It's putting the eyes on you. Yeah, everybody got something to say, but nigga, they looking at you right now. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like, nigga, you
Yeah,
winning regardless.
that's a fact. But again, just like just to wrap up the Kanye situation, he, you know, he said it. He came out and said it. There was I think I forgot where this nigga was at, but he was somewhere. There was a whole crowd full of people, and this nigga said that he was gonna make the crowd do something, and then he walked through the fucking crowd, and whatever he said what he said the crowd was gonna do, did that shit. Crowd did. I was just like, it's a certain time to where you just gotta be bold with certain shit. Sometimes it may
Mm-hmm.
seem extreme, sometimes it may seem, but you still kind of like testing yourself at the same time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how much juice do I really got for real? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how much clout do a nigga got? Like,
Right.
and if it don't pop, like, you know what I mean? You probably go back to the drawing board thinking some different shit. Like, you know what I mean? But I think that,
Mm-hmm.
as a celebrity, like, think about Neil Long going back into that bag. Neil Long ain't what Nia Long used to be, and that's no disrespect to her because I love her work. I love her as an actress and all the shit. But we're in a whole different time, like you know what I mean. So it's just like Holly Berry is almost out of that range to where niggas ain't really checking for
Right.
Holly no more. Like you know what I mean. So Nia Long, it was already kind of done for you probably like 3 years ago on that
Right.
type of time. Not to say that she ain't sexy, like you know what I mean, but it's not.
Yeah.
This is not Friday Nia Long. This is not. What did she do after that? The Best Man. Like you know what I mean. So this is not the same Nia Long. So
On that
uh,
type of time, nah.
yeah, this, not to just put it on her, but there's a lot of bad women that's out there that get cheated on. I'm talking about fucking celebrity status. I'm talking about badass women on the streets. Niggas is like, yeah, you know, she bad. But I got this other bad bitch, bro. This bitch, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, so it
Shit
kind of
goes
don't matter. It kind of don't matter the status of whoever that you associate yourself with. Either if it's ego, if it's just status, if it's whatever that you think you are, if you ain't locked in like that with your significant other, male and female, then shit, you bound to catch that L. Like, you know what I mean?
look. Moon in a different type of energy. He got that comb going.
Facts. No. What'd you say? No, Holly's still up there. Holly's up there. I'm gonna give
Holly
Holly
up
that.
there.
Yeah.
Holly's still going.
But if
She
we talk
said, but
about Nia Long though, I'm everybody who's watching this.
they like the 40, 50-year-old bads right now. You know what I mean? It ain't the same type of bad. It's bad. It's just a mature version of it. You know what I'm
Niggas was
saying?
putting more emphasis on Holly Berry than Nia Long for sure.
Hell
So
yeah.
Holly
Hell
Berry
yeah.
still, and that's what I mean. Holly Berry still got it. Don't get that shit twisted. She still got it. But Nia Long, niggas went on Nia Long
not
as long
compared
as
to
they was on
Holly.
Holly Berry.
Hell no.
So Nia had her run though. She had a run. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But going back to the point, if it don't matter, man, you could be the baddest bitch alive. Like, you know what I mean? Excuse my language when I say bitch, but y'all know what I'm talking about. But you could be the baddest motherfucker alive, and hey, if you with somebody that ain't loyal to the soil, then shit, it's a wrap. And that's, you know what I mean?
Yep. No, that's a fact.
But I guess the shock value, and it might come from, I don't know. That shit could come from so many different angles. It could come from people who really was fans of Nia Long. It could be Nia Long put it out there like, this nigga cheated on me.
Right.
Oh, hey,
Nah,
you don't
for
know. But just on that type of time, man. Again, that's the celebrity world, and then we get, the opposite end of
publicity.
that. And yeah, how we bang about that shit. Like, you know what I mean? It's how we feel. But everybody know on the streets, on a regular human level, bad bitches get cheated on too. Sorry, that shit.
That shit just happened. She said all publicity. Oh, that was when we was talking about Kanye. All publicity is good publicity, but does that still apply in this cancel culture era?
Hey, that's a dope ass question for sure. Let me say. Let me.
Man,
Oh yeah, go ahead. You
like
good?
cancel culture. Who? That's what I would say. Who
You
they
said what happened?
canceling? I don't know nobody that they didn't cancel. They be trying to cancel
Okay.
motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Like, but
When they
I don't know.
let me. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I literally I don't. I remember they tried to do the baby like that. They tried to say cancel
Right.
that nigga because he said something or made a comment at one of his concerts about gay people. But yet the nigga still had shows. I'm pretty sure the nigga was, you know what I'm saying, he was still running around making it. If anything, that probably brought more shit to this nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like we can't cancel culture. Like, nigga, we have a problem doing that. We used to back in them old days, we had way more, just like, nigga, fuck all this systematic shit, like we'll cancel all this shit back in them days. But right now, the niggas is too attached to a lot of this shit to where they not canceling nothing. They'll say it, they'll talk about it and be like, did you hear it? But again, giving that nigga publicity, even by saying cancel culture, cancel this nigga, you giving this nigga power.
Exactly. Like, for
You
what?
know?
Like, you know what I mean? As soon as you, because people, what some people don't understand is that, and we understand it, but we just don't think that we do. But we love drama, like, you know what I mean. So niggas, if nigga ain't checking for you as soon as they say cancel culture, well, why is he getting canceled? Like, you know what I mean. And then
Exactly.
niggas gonna go tap in and shit, like, you know what I mean. And then you have a choice after to say, well, what did he really say though? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm still gonna fuck with this nigga, especially if he dropped a new album. Well, what is the new album about?
Right, exactly. They finna go see. Make sure he ain't saying no crazy shit in there. Like, all
Yeah,
right, well, you just gave that nigga the listens.
yeah. With that council culture, I think that's the new era way of saying that niggas is potential to get blackballed and shit. Like, you know what I mean? So if you doing something behind the scenes, like I know we talked about this before in one of the past two shows and shit, but if you're doing something behind the scenes and if you ain't got your business straight and you do something that these big wigs or niggas who's in position to, call shots and shit like that, if you do something crazy, nigga, they gonna say the word cancel culture, but please believe that's what they're telling the public. But they ain't gonna say, well, this nigga, we told this nigga to do something and he didn't want to do it, and that's why this is happening. Like, you know what I mean? So we got to be real careful when it comes to them just putting out cancel culture as something that we, openly and readily accept, not knowing, the behind the scenes shit. Like, you know what I mean?
Motherfuckers don't be knowing where none of this shit be coming from.
That's a
Ultimately,
fact.
like like you said, like who came out and said Nia Long got cheated on? Like, was it her? She posted on her social media, I got cheated on by my husband. Like, how the
That's
fuck
what
did
I'm saying.
anybody know? Like, that's what I'm like, bruh. They're making money off of something. They doing something. They got a movie coming out. She got a relationship movie coming. It's something popping, bruh.
That's a fact.
It's something.
Like that Will Smith shit. He put out a whole ass book after that.
Right, exactly.
As a matter of fact, I think. Well, he did. What's my man's name? Serena and them. What was that movie?
Oh, I know what you're talking
He
about.
played
The
their dad.
tennis.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I know what you're talking about. I
So
don't know the
that,
name
he
of that
dropped
shit.
that. He dropped a book. That nigga dropped hellish shit after that.
Bruh.
Immediately after that, though, if not during the shit. Like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, yeah, so his shit was bound to pop for sure.
yeah. That was
But
around the slap and shit, all that. Like, that name was going up when he was when he was
man,
doing
look,
it.
yeah, and that, but
He
and
ripped
see,
it.
how they did it right now. Like if we're going to talk about on that type of time, they was the best to do it because now even the slap is still going back to their relationship problems. Like, you know what I mean? So they can eat off that shit, probably for the next 3 years.
Bruh, that shit is crazy. They got the roundtable show that they got. Like,
Yeah.
they doing numbers over that. Like, nigga, they doing numbers over the negative shit about relationships. Really,
Right.
all the shit that everybody want to talk about. Oh, he cheating. All the, you feel me? All the shit.
Yeah, but but on the flip side of that, there do be a lot of people that be going through relationship problems and shit, and they want to see like how to handle the shit or whatever.
So they go. So they turn to the celebrities.
You gotta go to the celebrities, baby. Celebrities ain't got nothing to hide, baby.
That shit is a
Everything is out in
movie.
the open,
It,
baby.
it's like they getting their relationship advice from a movie and shit. Like, that shit is not real, motherfucker. Like, all right, that's why all this shit fucked up.
Hey, I'm not gonna hold you. When it comes down to certain movies, like people don't even know. Like I watch all type of different movies, but when it be coming to them fucking what do they call them shit? There's a certain fucking genre for that shit. But ultimately, when the movies that be coming about, just like the love stories and shit, nigga, I'm a
Yeah.
sucker for the movies. I'm a sucker for them movies. I'm not going.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
not going to nobody. I'll be
Shit, I'm
sitting
the
there.
total opposite. I'll be like, bro, I'm not
I'll be,
fucking with none
I'll
of
be
this
sitting
shit.
there like, nigga, this shit is real, son. Like, hey, because hey,
Somebody
look,
probably going through that shit.
exactly. Hey, I'm a hopeless romantic for real. In real time, I'm a hopeless romantic. So when I see this shit work on the movies, I'm like, yeah, nigga, it's gonna work. Nigga, call my ex right now. I love you, bitch.
She gonna hang that bitch up so fast. Get the fuck off my
What the fuck is
phone. You be
Oh
like, see, that's your problem. You watching too many
right.
goddamn movies.
But no, but it's just like, sometimes you don't get certain opportunities to express certain shit in a certain way. Like, you know what I mean? So when the movies come out, it's just like you get to live a part of that, you know, the fantasy that comes with it, and it makes you feel good. So hell yeah. When it comes down to the celebrities, it's just like, so now they play the opposite of that shit. They're like, nigga, we got problems. Like, you know what I mean? This is how certain shows thrived and shit. Like if you probably was a little bit younger, but when they came out with Married with Children with Al Bunny and them shit, them niggas was thugging. Like, you know what I mean? So and I'm using that as an example because we already had, like, you know what I mean, like Good Times and, you know, all the other shit. But when it came out, you know, on that type of time, it was just like, yeah, we relate to that shit because that's, you know, it's the struggle type shit. So we don't even need to play on the fantasy side. So if you bring that shit into reality TV, like, you know what I mean, quote unquote reality TV, you're gonna win because people are associating their personal lives and stress and drama and all the other shit into the shit, like, you know what I mean. So it works like a motherfucker.
No, for real. That's where they get the soaps. The soap, soap operas, all that shit. You understand? They running them up for real.
That's big. I might put out a soap.
But you gotta get the track list, all them sounds and shit, how they be playing in the background and shit. Then they make you start crying and shit. Relatability sells.
That's a fact. Oh, King Richard. I'm sorry. Yeah. That movie went up too. That's another movie, but that was based on reality though. But that touched me for real.
Look, might as well come on up in here and jump in the chat for this. Do weak men create masculine women, and do strong men create feminine women?
Feminine women, yeah. Before we get into that, I kind of wanted to touch on the Stockton serial killer.
See, okay, yeah, I that's the first time, like, you saying that is my first time hearing about this shit.
Yeah, like, you know, because it's, well, from what I've read, or even I guess more heard than read, that it's a motherfucker in the Bay Area, but I still don't understand why it's called a Stockton serial killer. Like that, like if somebody knows that this nigga from Stockton, or did it start in Stockton and it just kept on going to like I don't know the Stockton Bay Area connection. Like I'm trying to figure that part out.
Right.
But that shit is bananas. And you know, and it can seem like a reach, but you know, everybody's talking about this Dahmer shit, right? I still haven't seen the series that they got going on right now, but I already know about the story and shit, like, you know what I mean? So I already know where it's at. But you know, a lot of people, man, look at certain ways how to leave their mark on the world and shit, right? Even if it's the most bizarre shit. And I think that it's kind of like a twofold situation, because when you get real life situations like that, especially on the net, because you know social media, like, they don't give a fuck about nothing, so they will take the most grimiest story, the grimiest situation, and either turn that shit into a joke, or, like, you know what I mean, just make it to where, like, you know what I mean, like it wasn't even that serious, but they'll overshadow it. So imagine if you're somebody who's like socially different, like, you know what I mean, like you just like on a different type of frequency and shit, and your only mark to make in this world is to do something as drastic as having like a mass shooting or a mass killing, or, you know what I mean, being a serial killer, or, you know, some crazy shit like that. And I think that that's because this movie is out, it can be an influence. Just like I said, it could be a reach, it can be non-related, but, you know, just that energy that's out there, like, you know what I mean? Similar to, remember when we was in school and shit, and they used to show you these fucking movies about slavery and all the shit.
Mm-hmm.
I know the group of people that I was with, I was like, hey, we finna go beat certain motherfuckers up during lunchtime.
Right.
I'm just being honest with y'all. I'm being 1,000% honest. it put a certain energy into you and shit, right? You're like, hold on, niggas was living like that back in the day. To work right now.
I want to go holler at little Jimmy over here.
Hey, let's go tighten him up real quick, like. Hey,
stupid.
But it's just on that type of time to where what are we looking at for real? Like, you know what I mean? And then even with the opposite of that with the slave movie is just like, we was so ready to see this the Black Panther shit because it showed a whole different dynamic of what this shit could have possibly looked like. Because that movie was not real, like, you know what I mean? But they got all of these other movies that's about real slavery or real shit that happened. So when we get this fictional situation, we hold on to that like as if, like, you know what I mean, that the shit is up. Not to say that we didn't have no dope shit, but it's just like, you know what I mean, we still held on to that. But going back to this Dahmer shit is just like, some certain people probably feel like that, like, nigga, like, well, shit, nigga, like, these motherfuckers is out here catching some type of fame off this shit, like, you get that bug, nigga, motherfuckers, certain people that's out there like that, especially like on that type of time, like you gotta be a certain type of genius, like, you know what I mean, to even
a lot of them, bruh,
but you just, you know what I mean,
they be studying them niggas. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the serial killers be studying other serial killers and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, they get something out of that shit. Yeah.
Yeah. So when they do that shit, it's just like, again, just like, imagine if you somebody who, who's a social misfit for whatever reason, like, you know what I mean? You was probably raised in a whole different place, and then you try to come into this place, ain't nobody accepting you. You're just like, well, how do I make my mark? Like, you know, everybody's entitled to make their mark before they make their transition. Like, you know what I mean? So it's just like, well, how do I do my shit? Oh, this nigga all over the world, they're talking about this Columbine shooting and shit. So guess what I'm gonna do? I'm not good at nothing else.
Right.
Try to roll these foots, nigga. But
for real.
I'm saying this joking, but I'm serious as a heart attack. Like, you know what I mean? So even when they had the I think, what was that shit in the Bay? The Zodiac killers and shit. Like, the Zodiac killer was leaving clues for the cops. Like, nigga, y'all niggas will never catch me. Like, you know what I mean? So it wasn't even about the killing at this point. It wasn't about the victims. It was about, nigga, I'm smarter than all you niggas. Like, you know what I mean? So it's just like, and that's my mark. Like, you know what I mean? Outsmarting the fucking police. Like, you know what I mean? So, just, you know what I mean? Just on that type of time. Even today, like, you know what I mean? Out here in Vegas, there was a fucking a multiple stabbing and shit. Like, you know what I mean? I'm going to go get my, my show bottles and shit. Like, you know what I mean? See hella police. What the fuck is police out here for? Deep in the motherfucker though. Come to find out, somebody went on a stabbing rampage, stabbed 8 people on the strip.
That's on crazy.
The strip, broad daylight.
He must have just been running.
Yeah.
Like, hitting them.
You know,
ain't no way you just, you know what I'm saying? Like, niggas just see this nigga coming type shit, and they, you know what I mean? Like, he had to be moving totally different.
Yeah, man. 2 people died from that shit, and I guess 6 was injured. I don't know, but that shit, it was crazy. I'm just like, nigga, because it's literally right down the street from where I stay at. So it's just like, nigga, like, you know what I mean? But I don't go to the strip in the daytime. Like, you know what I mean? But just imagine, but there still be hella people out there. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm just
nighttime strip.
Like, yeah. It's probably more dangerous than like when I first moved out here, nigga. They was clapping shit up every weekend, like, cause I moved out here in an EDD session, so niggas had money, so niggas was out here, like, you know what I mean, doing shit. But you know, just to have that is just like, nigga, you just out on the strip, just running up to niggas, poking niggas and shit, like, you know what I mean, like, what's, you know, again, like, you know what I mean? I guess, you know, whatever type of time that's on. Again, not to say that that's influenced by this Dahmer shit, but it's just like, nigga, just imagine being on a strip and you out with your because it's families in the daytime, like you know what I mean. Not for the most part,
Exactly.
families out there, like
Kids.
nighttime. But yeah, but it's just like nigga in the daytime, broad daylight, you out just poking niggas and running through and you
Niggas is bold.
what? God damn. So
Niggas is bold,
um
bro.
going back to just to the Stockton serial killer, just like okay, yeah. Like I saw a video. Shit, he looked like he's black and shit. But from what they said, again, I didn't look into that either. But from what they said, that he was only killing just like dudes and shit, and it might even be said that it was like only Mexican dudes or some shit like that. So I don't know what the fuck is going on with that shit. But shouts out to all the families, man. That's had victims, a part of that shit though. Even today out here in Vegas, both situations and shit. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah, for real.
Crazy
That shit
shit.
crazy. That shit is crazy.
And,
So it's
that's
getting
supposed to
crazier.
yeah, for sure. But yeah. So to get into the meat of this goddamn show today, man. Relationships.
Yeah. See, y'all had got into it in the group chat. I wasn't, So I'm here to see. I'm here to kind of tap in on what some of the arguing points were in this conversation. I know we were supposed to have some people jumping in. I'm not
Yeah,
quite sure if they still jumping in or not, but I know the brother Kareem was going to get in here.
I can't even.
Certified real in the building.
Yeah, shout out to everybody that's in the chat. My bad, I didn't even mention that. I can't post on the book, so if y'all see me on the book, I can't post on the book. I can't see none of this shit on the book. They got me in jail still. But yeah, nah. He said our culture is filled with serial killers. Ooh,
Hey, shit, dude,
boy,
that is,
that's a true statement.
yeah.
I
It's
was,
just serial, like on a different type of time, but it's
yeah,
you know what I mean? Same
it
shit.
still is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was watching this. Well, it's basically like a YouTube channel, and they was just highlight like different celebrities and either how they passed away or how they went to jail and other shit like that. And man, I saw like especially right now, young niggas out there that's rapping and making a name. You know what I mean? If no matter if it's out here, Florida, Chicago, like you know what I mean? Like all this shit was highlighted and niggas and I'm talking about niggas doing shit on social media, like cause you can't even hide it right now. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I did that. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, boy, them is different times.
What's
I'm glad that
that movie where they was predicting niggas killing before they was doing the shit? You seen that?
no. You said what is that?
It's a movie where they literally go lock a nigga up because he was about to commit a crime. Like they
Oh
seen it.
shit.
You ain't seen that? I
Nah.
forgot. It was with I believe it was with Tom Cruise. And they had this machine. They had like these oracles, or like they had all these, spiritual people. I don't want to say like locked up, but they was all in a, all in a room or in a pool or some shit together, and they would get these visions of people like committing crazy ass crimes, and they would go Minority Report, yeah. They would go
Oh, okay.
grab them niggas before they commit the crime. Niggas busting down their door. They like, what's going on? They like, yeah, you was about to commit a crime. Like, nigga, what?
Hey, hey, just by knowing the title, I'm sleep on that movie. Hey, I'm about to go tap
Yeah.
into that shit. I
It just
slept on
reminded
that
me
movie.
of just, you feel me, all this shit. Like when somebody get pulled over, niggas got their phones out You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
everybody pulling phones out when some crazy shit pop off. Like that's just the new thing, which is like your ass ain't getting. I see like how them serial killers, them niggas be by themselves, tucked off, hey, come to the room type shit. Like nigga ain't no,
Right.
they even had none of this going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. See, and it's kind of like, and that's what you said. Like it's serial killing, but it's not. But it is because you out there knocking shit
Right.
down. But at the same time, it's just like I think it just comes with like you know what I mean. If you in a game like that, and if you a rapper like that, like you know what I mean, like you may go to a certain city or state that's outside of your city and state that you might want to go do a tour at. And so if your name is out there, knowing that you ain't one of them niggas to play with, okay, yeah, you might not, somebody might not try you. But the flip end of that shit is that nigga, yeah, you got a name, but your name is not only being seen by the niggas that's in the street that may fear you after you do what you do. Nigga, you got the police on your line now. So now it's just like,
Right.
nigga, how does where's the winning at? Like, you know what I mean? That's why, like, just I'm glad that I came up at a time to where, uh niggas wasn't really even, still to it's just like niggas ain't no clout type of time. Like, nigga, if I got beef with somebody, they'll probably know, like, you know what I mean, or probably even be the last motherfucker to know. But I don't beef with niggas like that unless niggas got beef with me. But social media won't know for sure. Like, you
Right.
know what I mean? Like, what type?
Right.
I don't understand the
You
logic
telling
in
on
that.
yourself.
Yeah, like nigga, ain't no way.
Yeah,
But
that shit be crazy.
yeah, but to flip that, but I'm gonna definitely have to tap in with Minority Report for sure. What's up,
Yeah.
Low in the building? What's popping, lady?
Peace. What's going on?
All the way out there. I believe she's out there in Arizona. It might be Arizona. My bad. If I fuck that up, it might be Arizona. It might be New Mexico. Shit, might be. It's
Shout
something.
out to both of
That. But getting into this relationship shit. My God. Um, shit.
What y'all think, chat? Do you think weak men create masculine women? Or do you think strong men create feminine women? How do y'all feel about that? If y'all want to chime in, if y'all want to jump on, just say something. We'll send you the link.
Yeah, definitely. Um, well, yeah. What the two questions is like, do weak men create masculine women? And then we have the flip of that, which is do strong men create feminine women? But is there a slight? Because I just want to go off topic for just a little bit. Is there a slight possibility that a strong man can create a masculine woman, and that a weak man can create a feminine woman? I think you muted out right now.
I said that
Oh, there you go.
that create word just in the middle of both of them is, you feel me? That's the tricky part for me.
Yeah, nah,
But like
definitely.
I like if we change the word, you know what I'm saying? Like can weak men create feminine, see, can't even say create, like I don't know, can weak men just um attract
Influence, attract. Okay,
influence attract
influence. I'm gonna say influence. Yeah.
feminine women? I don't think
Well,
there's a limit to that. Like it could go up, down, left, right,
that's right.
diagonal, you
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? Like
definitely. When we
it
talk
just
about,
depends on, because everybody be, it's like what you may be strong at, the other person may be weak at, or vice versa. Like, all the different kinds of combinations that can be present in two people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Regardless, strong, weak, masculine, feminine. It may be that weak person that got something that, you know what I'm saying, will trigger that feminine energy to come out in a female. You know what I'm
That's what I was
saying?
gonna say. That it could be a calming. Imagine. Let me say it like this. Imagine that you're a more feminine woman. I don't want to say that they're avoid of being masculine, right? But I'm gonna say a more feminine woman, and you're dealing with somebody that's masculine, right? A masculine male, and everything about this nigga is masculine from the way that he wink at you. That nigga could do a hard ass wink. You like, damn nigga, why you so masculine all the time and shit, right?
All right.
So now you gotta for you to be able to keep up with his masculinity, you probably gonna match that energy. Like, you know what I mean? And then so that may be so she may take on that energy and just be like, yeah, I don't really fuck with it like that, but because this is my man, that's what I'm gonna do. Like, you know what I mean? Say they break up.
Mhm.
Then she get with a dude, his wink a little bit more. It's sly, like, okay, bitch. Like, you know what I
A little
mean?
subtle. Uh-huh.
Excuse my language, y'all, because I hate using that word and to where people don't receive it in the right way. But if he's doing it in kind of like a more chill kind of way, and then it may enable her to relax and calm down and get back into that feminine energy to where, okay, yeah, I like that shit. Like, you know what I mean? It's not too masculine, but it's just enough for me to recognize that it's coming from a man and I'm the woman at the same time. So, like, you know what I mean? So that's what I mean. Like, it could go either way with me on that on just
Yeah.
the
Or you could
situation.
be so strong that nigga, there's no need for her to be masculine. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
oh
that part
yeah,
too.
you got it. You know what I'm saying? Let me chill back and, stay in my energy. That'll be the balance in a sense. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, and yeah, I mean, ultimately, that's how it seems like she um considered as. He said that may be considered as over dominant. Uh,
Hey, some
Empress
dudes.
Divine. She said this energy exchange, an imbalanced person will definitely have a negative influence on a balanced person. Oh, on a negative influence, and a balanced person will have a more neutral one. Mm. I feel like kind of like I feel like the body, right? Like it's almost like no matter what, the nigga, you can make some shit work in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Like niggas is getting their kidneys removed, and that other kidney is taking on the the you know what I'm saying, the work of that missing kidney, and shit's still moving, like shit's still working.
Right.
You know what I mean? In the same way, same fashion as if a nigga had two kidneys. I know motherfuckers that got one lung, and them niggas can probably outrun. You know what I'm saying? A nigga with two lungs, like it ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like
Right.
it's almost like balance if somebody is the opposite of you, that to me is the balance.
That is.
You know what I mean? If it's
Um,
two of the same, then yeah, y'all finna be bumping heads just off the rip. You know what I mean?
that's a fact. When it comes down to, just to piggyback off what you just said, um, sometimes I think that people think that um, your soulmate, or at least when I was younger, like, you know what I mean, you think your soulmate, oh, you like uh dogs with just a couple of eyelashes on their eyes. I do too. Like, you know what I mean? So when you find certain little difference, like the smallest shit in common, you feel like your soulmate is supposed to have just those certain things in common and shit, right? But it's
Mm-hmm.
just like, okay, so if y'all got everything in common, where's the growth at? Like, you know what I mean? So it's just like, are you guys ever going to grow with each other? Or is everything's the same? Everything is, which in certain situations I guess could be cool, but it's just like, okay, you like this over here, and I like exactly the opposite of that. Well, why do you like that? Okay, we beefing right now, but in a good beef to where we're trying to figure each other out and see where each other mind is or spirit is or wherever. Like, you know what I mean? So when it comes to that, I kind of switch my shit. It's just like, yeah, I could have somebody that is on my type of time, like, you know what I mean? But it's just like well, let me see where you at. Like, you know what I mean? I don't even want no coming to America, whatever you like. I like work like a dog. Like, no, we ain't doing that. So it's just like, you know what I mean? But of course, what's understood don't need to be stated. Like, you know what I mean? But
that part,
at the
that
same
part.
time, it just comes down to, if you're too much of anything is a bad thing, right? So if you're too similar, have too many different things in common, then it's just like, nah, yeah, we probably cool as friends because we got a lot of shit in common. But I need that fight. As crazy as that sound, I need that fight. I need that either you finna teach me something that I didn't know, or have me look from a different perspective, or I want to do that shit for you. So like, you know what I mean?
Right,
So
exactly.
just to have that push pull, the tug of war, the conflict and resolution, all of these different things that's synonymous with balance. Like, you know what I mean? Just like you were saying. So I think on that type of time is just, hell yeah, let me see where it's at.
Now,
Um, just so we can create. If everything is already painted, I'm gonna throw my
yeah,
paintbrush away.
right.
There's no paint. But like, it's just like, nah, nigga, I want to paint. Like, nigga, that part right there is missing. I'm gonna paint
Right,
right
right.
there.
Well, like a picture already, you feel me, done and shit. Like, but okay, so now, if we was to use that word create, would it still be the same? It'd still be on the same type of time, like weak men create masculine females.
Yeah, hey, we got to go to the crowd with that one. Let me answer that. If we
Because
talking
when you
about,
say weak, wait, is weak synonymous with feminine, or are we connecting those two like that, or
see,
you know what I'm saying?
that's the thing. We have to be real specific on
Words,
because what is weak for real? Like, you know what I mean?
right? Yeah, exactly.
What is strong for real? Like, you know what I mean? This is just like on some the beauties in the eye of the beholder. Like, you know what I mean? So if we talk
Mm-hmm.
about that on that type of time, we're talking about individual case by case situations where it's just like, okay, that shit can be, perceived as weak. But if the woman is dealing with that shit, there's some type of power in it that she's pulling from. Like, you know what I
Right,
mean?
right, 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 right.
Even if that power is pulling her to tap in with that masculine energy, maybe she needed to tap into that masculine energy. So that's why she's in that situation to pull from. How do you pull from some weak shit to gain strength?
Hey, hey, that was a bar.
How do you do that?
That was a bar. That
Let's
was for
talk about
surely
it.
a
Let's talk
bar.
about it
Hey,
for real.
hey,
How do you
certified real
pull?
said it too.
How do you pull? Right. How do you pull from some weak shit to gain strength? If you look at that shit like that, man, look, it's a game changer. It's just like, okay, so again, if you say take the word create out, it's just
Right.
like, yeah, what? Now we got to look at create. It's just like, nigga,
Exactly.
I'm tossing you the oop. Like, you know what I mean? So when we say create, we can look at it from two different ways. I'm tossing you the oop, or I'm forcing you to be this. Like, you know what I mean? Because I'm weak, so that means you have to be strong. You understand what I'm trying to say? So if if my weakness is making you be strong, and and you were strong from the gate, but you're just like, if you were depending on me to be strong for you, and it's just like, okay, yeah, you'll get that. But if you're able to um pull out a certain level of strength that you didn't have from the gate, from my weakness, niggas up. Like, you know what I mean? And I hate to say it like that because that's not always the situation. But if we look at it from an open mind, like, nigga, just like I said, like, if you pulling some fucking strength from a weakness, what's the problem? Like, there is no problem in that. Like, you know what I mean? So if you look at it like that, it's just like, hell yeah, it's up. But again, if we look at the male, I guess the male female relationship dynamics, they're looking for the men to be the strength and shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but if you're a woman, you also got to have a certain level of strength and shit too. If not, that's why you're pulling from this weak man. Going to what Certified Real is saying, that alpha women look for beta males and shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this nigga is not alpha enough to have me claim my strength. Like, you know what I mean? So if this nigga is weak, nigga, I'm shining in his strength shit. I need to be this, so that's why I'm grabbing that. And that's our balance. And if the shit works like that, it just works.
It just works. No, that's a fact.
It just do.
Yo, that's that. Hey, the foundation. Every day, if it start from the foundation,
yeah,
motherfucking hands is up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the foundation is the foundation.
But you gotta hold on. Wait, what are we saying? You gotta be real.
That's it.
You gotta be clear.
You see, I'm treading lightly, nigga. I'm treading lightly right now. I'm over here, you feel me, dog paddling. But when I say the foundation, I'm saying like, it's like how you were saying, you feel me, pulling the. I had made a post, and Demner got crucified over that shit by saying that the women represent chaos, the energy, and I don't mean like chaos, like, you know, but I'm just saying like the darkness versus the light type shit. You know what I mean? Chaos versus the structure. They're the foundations ultimately. You know what I'm saying? So whatever they allow, in a sense, is what's gonna go. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I said that kind of goes back to what Certified Real saying as far as like alpha women pick beta men. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What he says? Sometimes a woman's financial status makes them feel dominant. Yeah. That's true too. Especially now.
Yeah, because, well, depending on what type of field they're in, they may be blowing niggas out the water, like strong men out the water. So it's just like, if you blowing men out the water, but it's just like, nigga, you start to flex your little muscle a little bit.
Like, hey, for reals.
Hey, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, you know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with feeling, you know, dominant and shit for sure. But at the same time, it's just like, you know,
but
if you love men, you know, you're gonna make a way for you to still have that level of masculinity, but know when to be a fucking lady. Go ahead, bro. My bad.
Yeah, nah, the problem would be the alpha women picking beta men, expecting the men to be an alpha man. You get what I'm saying? Like that, I see that more so talked about in today's day and age than anything else. I'm just keeping it 1,000. Like, it's alpha women talking about where's all these alpha men at? We you know what I'm saying? But it's like y'all the ones choosing the people that y'all dealing with, and then you get mad that you know what I'm saying? Like, you get mad that you're dealing with this person. It's like, well, as the foundation, switch up that fabric. Like, you got to switch it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to allow a beta man to try to structure some shit when obviously they not ready for that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, why would you choose a beta man expecting an alpha?
Yeah, and see, that's again, I have to play angel's advocate with that. Because when it comes down to that, man, I've seen certain situations to where females complain about it, but the complaint is only for the fucking for the clout. Like, this weak ass nigga ain't doing it, so I gotta do it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, won't get rid of this nigga. Won't leave this nigga for shit. Will not leave this nigga for shit. But complain all day. But flex that muscle like, hey, look, so this nigga don't change tires, but I was out there, bitch, and this nigga was sitting in the car. and I was pumping that jack up, man. Y'all know I'm silly as hell. But on that type of time, it's just like, well, how, and this is, you know, this kind of came up on the topic that we're talking about right now on social media. Just like, well, why are you still dealing with it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what, you know, there are certain people who find that comfort in that, because if you got a male that's doing everything for you, well, who the fuck are you? Like, you know what I mean? And this is, and I hate to say it like this, but sometimes it's for women who don't know how to be a woman. And when I say that, I just mean that they don't know what that balance looks like for real. They don't know their position as being a woman to a man. So it's just like, I'm not gonna go deal with no man. A man? Like every woman wants a man until a man pop up. Like, you know what I mean? A nigga pop up, they're like, I could deal with this nigga. This nigga only want J's and the PS5, nigga. I could deal with that. He don't work though, so he ain't gonna tell me shit, bitch.
Like for real.
But when it comes down to dealing with a man, they're like, all right, nigga, now if you ain't no woman, I'm not talking to the women that are not, I'm not talking to the women right now. If you're not a woman, you're going to have problems with, quote unquote, being in your feminine energy. I was going to say submissive. I got to be careful with my words.
Yeah.
I got to be super careful with my words, but you're going to have a problem if you don't understand what it means to be a woman for real, and just to allow somebody to be in that space. If you don't have no no identity of self, then you fuck dealing with a man, because you're still battling yourself. So that's why sometimes women deal with beta men, because them niggas don't give a fuck. Like, they just chilling. They're not worried about nothing. So it's just like, well, I got control of this situation because I don't have control of this situation. Self, me. Like, you know what I mean? So it's just like, well, I'm gonna just deal with this nigga who don't got it all together. But so when a nigga that got it all together to your face, you like, I am not dealing with that nigga.
Right. I mean, that's why I was like, it comes down to what is it that you want? Like, what's your level, in a sense? Like, what is you gonna allow? Ultimately, that's how I look at it, is what are you going to allow when it comes to the type of men that you choose, you know, to be with or to deal with or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
You're gonna allow that? Okay. That's what you get by allowing that. You know what I'm saying? If you're not, that's why I said they the foundation when it comes to this. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, it's almost like the BBLs. You know, like they all doing those right now because they think in their mind that's what the men want. Men is just gonna get what, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we going after, niggas is going after whatever type shit, in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as like,
say that niggas don't give a fuck about none of that
shit. I'm telling you, they're like, oh, you finna go get that? Okay, like, nigga, like, but they like that shit don't matter. You know what I'm saying? It's whatever. Like, who said that? Was that you that said that? As far as like, the women decide who gets the punani, in a sense, you know what I'm saying? And the men decide who gets a ring.
Who getting wiped up,
You know what I'm saying?
And see, that's when it comes down to the dynamic of when women go get them BBLs and shit, even with the eyelash shit, like, me personally, like, if you can make your shit pop, it's cool, but I'm not even a fan of that shit.
Yeah, exactly.
If I like, for the people who know me and see me close up, I got long eyelashes and shit, right? They don't look like it right now, but I got long eyelashes and shit. So me personally, I know females used to always say, "Oh, your eyelashes long, whatever." But me personally, I never liked long eyelashes because I remember being a kid and seeing like niggas in drag, and to more, you know, make themselves look more feminine, they'll put on them eyelashes. And I'd be like, ugh, like, nigga, that's one of them. Like, no disrespect now, but I'm just telling y'all my mindset as a kid. I don't care, you know, if you're a drag right now, you drag, you do whatever. But as a kid, like, that shit, you be like, nah, nigga, them eyelashes too big. That's a nigga. Like, you know what I mean? So when I see that shit now, that's what it reminds me of. Like, you don't need to overbe a woman. Like, you already a fucking woman. Like, you know what I mean? You don't need to overbe that shit. You don't need to compensate for anything. You're already a woman. I like, hey, look, makeup. I'm like that with makeup and shit too. Like, yo,
me too, bro.
Makeup? What the fuck is a makeup? Like, nigga, just do what you do and you're good. But
you're giving a false sense of reality of a woman at that point.
That's a fact of yourself. To keep it a band, it's just like, who told you? You know what I mean? Because of course, everybody, when you're younger and shit, probably before us, the magazines were saying you have to look like this and you have to look like that and all this other shit. But it's just like, if you feed into that type of shit, it's just like, well, where you at? Like, you know what I mean? Like, man, especially right now, like and I made a because I don't care. I'm honest with my shit, but I made a post about women talking about, having a natural picture and shit, right? Mm-hmm. But it's just like, yeah, you ain't got no makeup, no eyelashes, none of this shit, but your shit is filtered 2 or 3 different times, and it's just like that's still cheating. Like, it's natural, your face is, but the picture's not. So it's a true lie.
I'm gonna ask something. Do you think and anybody, you feel me? Anybody in the chat, answer it. But like the females that get, because I've heard other shit. I don't know. It like there's some sort of confliction in there. But do you think the women that get the BBLs and wear hella makeup and nigga go get the fake nails and the fake weaves and all of that type of shit constantly to the point where nigga you don't even know if you know what I mean? Like I mean, as far as like her hair and her nails and shit, it's like, damn, are those her real nails or is that her real hair? Is that her? You know what I'm saying? At that point,
right.
Do you think that those women can like? And this could be a reach. I'm just asking the question though. But like, do you think that they truly love themselves, or you know what I'm saying? Like respect themselves in a certain way? I know that's a deep ass question. But it's like if you
opened it, we finna go.
I got to. You know what I'm saying? Like if you do not wear your natural hair and you know what I mean, like you don't like the way that your natural self looks, so you feel like let me go get this BBL or let me go put this weave in or put all this makeup on and you know what I'm saying? Because like that's the shit right now. Like niggas, bro. Have a group of 100 females go out to a club. I say 90% finna wear makeup. They're gonna have the weaves and all this shit. They probably be 10% in their natural.
Right. Let me say this to that, man. It's and of course, it's a twofold shit, right? Hey. Because I have to be real. I gotta be real, and I gotta be real careful about the words that I choose.
Right.
Because I pose that same question and shit, right? It's just like, goddamn, like, I said on one of the earlier podcasts that we did, it's just like, in my mind, and this is just dealing with makeup, in my mind, makeup, right? That means something went bad. A makeup test, breakup to makeup, you know what I mean? I gotta make up something, or even if you gotta fucking, like, if there's some truth going around and you get some bad shit, you gotta make up a lie. Like, you know what I mean? So the word makeup is kind of like synonymous with some crazy shit or some bad shit or whatever. So when I think about face, I gotta make up a face. You gotta do what?
Yeah.
So when it comes down to that, it's just like, why? Like, who told you that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what
exactly
are you not seeing? Like, you know what I mean? In order for you to say, well, I got to cover this shit up. Now, mind you, okay, yeah, there's certain shit that make your shit pop. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you got lipstick, do lip gloss. Like, you know what I mean? Because it's still just making it pop. So I get it. And that's what I was gonna say. Going to, the enhancements, right? That's just like when niggas work out and shit. Like, you know what I mean? Niggas work out, you know what I mean? You may get your little flex on and shit, okay, whatever. The shit look a little bit better. Like, you know what I mean? So I understand that aspect of making yourself want to try to be yourself at the highest potential that you can. I get that shit. But when it comes down to all day, fucking every day, I woke up like this and bitch, you got on makeup.
First
Stop.
thing. First thing in the morning, they run into the bathroom.
Ain't no hair out of place. This bitch got a fucking Brazilian. Woke up like what?
Yeah, they going to sleep with them on now, like.
Yeah, but it's just like it's so and I hate to say it like this because it makes me feel so old saying this shit, but it's just like, where are the fucking just like the old school women just like I don't really care, even though there's some old like because this shit goes back. If you even watch the movie I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, that came out in the late 80s, like, you know what I mean, and Keenan Ivory Wayans put it together to where the bitch took off her hair, then she took off her eyelashes, then she took off her nails, and she took off a leg, and then she was hopping after it, like, so in that movie, like, he kind of put the emphasis on it in the 80s, like, you know what I mean, so imagine this is the 2020s, like, you know what I mean, so it's just like it didn't do nothing, but you know the game is still the same, but it's just like on the flip side of that, it's just like to enhance yourself. I get it, like, you know what I mean, but at the same time I can go through probably shit a lot of my social media pages right now, and it's just like that's a filter, makeup, filter, makeup, filter, makeup. It's like
it's almost like. No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's just like, you know, I think that certain women feel more comfortable with being natural, but this is the quote unquote status quo of, you know, what
right. That's what I was going to say.
Niggas want.
That's what
like,
I was
you know what I mean?
say,
Just like you said, like when it comes down to, oh well, I'm getting this ass. I don't think that bitches, excuse my language, I don't think that women get BBLs and fake breasts and fake lips and all that extra shit done to please a dude. Because all females should know that, because females say it all the time, that nigga will fuck this bitch with one leg, one arm, 3 fingers on the other arm, no hair, like, you know, but she's getting fucked. Somebody's gonna get her pregnant. Females understand that shit, like, you know what I mean? Just based on the fact that it's a woman. She's gonna get fucked. Sorry, but that's the reality of the situation. So going out to get all this fake shit, you're not doing it for the men. You could, if you think that is crazy, and this is what I was gonna say. So I think that for the women that do that, they got them $40 days, man, or they got they got their OnlyFans popping, and I think that's I think that they blended those two worlds. Like the regular women that don't need that shit is trying to sell a fantasy to somebody who's willing to pay for that shit when they don't even need to do it. Imagine going to go get a BBL, but you selling your pussy for $40. Like, this shit don't make sense. Like, but when it comes down to the woman that's not doing that, it's like, nigga, what's your selling? I mean, and I hate to say selling, because if you ain't selling pussy, you selling yourself. Like, you know what I mean? In terms of your personality, the energy that you put out, like all the shit, right? Mm-hmm. So when it comes down to that, you're just who you are. You're selling yourself. But you put on all this shit, you go down to go get the BBL, you go get everything else. Did the nigga change? No. Ain't no regular nigga changing. You might.
The most I see is the hair.
You might pump your shit up from $40 to $60, but the average nigga that's looking to be in a relationship, he ain't changed. Not at all.
Nah, the most I seen from the dude side is you know the niggas with the receding hairlines. They get the little matte covering carpet on their shit. You know what I'm saying? They at least get their hairline back. I'm telling you, they following suit, bro. They the foundation, bro. Anything they got, they like shit. I can do that shit too. They doing the beards and shit now. They painting niggas' beards on pretty much. Like,
that's crazy. Hey,
so this is done in moderation. However, it's becoming overwhelming with these big ass eyelashes, deep blonde weaves, them damn furry ass flip flops. It comes down to a self-esteem, and that's why I'm like,
that's a fact.
That's what it's seeming like for sure. Or else is why else? What's the other reasons of why you doing it?
That's what I'm saying. To sell put, like, in my mind, you just must. I'm serious as a heart attack and I hate to be so blunt, but this is for your mind. I'm being blunt as possible.
Hey, yeah, for real.
Again, women, and I'm only saying this because it's true. Women know you don't need to have all that shit if you're just trying to get knocked down. Even if you're trying
Oh
to get,
yeah, nah.
even if you're trying to get into a relationship, if you're trying to get into a relationship with a nigga, be like, bitch, you ain't got no ass. Hey, sometimes that's people's preference. I'm not knocking that. Like, you know what I mean? But sexual preference, not relationship preference. So if you're in a relationship, you can overlook certain things and be like, okay, you got a dope vibe, so I'm still fuck with you. I don't care if you got an ass or not. I'm gonna grip that motherfucker because I love you, and I'm gonna make you feel like you got the biggest ass on the planet. Like, because I fuck with you like that. Like, you know what I mean? So when
That's
it
what I
comes
was
down
gonna
to that,
say. They can thank social media for that.
yeah. So when it
You
comes
know what I'm
down to
saying?
anything outside of that, it's like, nigga, shit. What? When you do that, who are you doing it for? Now, I do know certain women that say, well, I did this for myself. Because let me say this real quick, because there are certain women who I do know who, you know, when they was younger and shit, they probably got teased about not having, you know, big titties or being flat chested or, you know, having, you know, small ass, ain't got no ass. So sometimes that can fuck with you, like, you know what I mean? And I understand that. So on that aspect, if you're doing that shit just to, I guess, you know, make up for whatever that, you know, was going on in the past that you, I get it. But at the same time, don't, if it's really for you, then make it for you. Like, you know what I mean? I respect like a motherfucker. But if it comes, but there's still a green, a fine
I
line
was
with that.
gonna say.
I know where you at, Seth. I see your face. Trust me, I know. I see your face. Like, nah, nigga, it's still up. I see your face. I feel it. I got you. It's good.
Uh-huh.
But when it comes down to if you're trying to sell that pitch to somebody else, that's when it's going to become a problem. Like, you know what I mean? Because again, you know, if you're dealing with genuine people, they're not worried about that shit. Like, you know what I mean? Ain't nobody, you know, me personally, like, I'll probably pass up on some dope ass women because if I'm looking, if especially on social media, I'm just talking about. If I see you got, say, 10 pictures, and your pictures is you showing your ass, you know, what after that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, and that's not a question for the women. That's a question, like, in my own mind, like, well, what? Well, why did she do that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, well,
For
you know,
real, yeah.
especially, like, you know what I mean? Like, well, what comes after that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, all right, is that a selling point? Like, what are we doing right now? Is that
Right. But that's what it is, bro. That
yeah.
social media has became the new how can I sell myself? Ultimately, that's why and that's why I'm like that image. You see how the image, bruh, just when in the beginning of social media, motherfuckers was taking regular ass photos, bruh. I mean, they didn't have none of them filters. They didn't have all the extra shit. Motherfuckers taking regular photos, posting it. Nigga, oh, yep, that's old girl from high school, or nigga, that's,
Right,
whatever.
right.
But now just the more that this shit keeps like evolving and the video reels and just all this shit, bro, it's like they damn near and then because kind of going back to that cancel culture, we not canceling social media. Niggas is utilizing like that's a big
Like,
thing. Like you said, it's a money maker. It's all types of shit right now. So
yeah,
they see that and they're like, oh, like you said, I can sell myself. Like if I do this, if I do that, if I put this filter on and pose in a certain type of way, I'm gonna get hella likes, which is gonna bring
right,
hella attention to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? It ain't even about like you said, like really trying to like find a husband or like you know what I mean? It ain't about none of that. It's about selling myself in a sense. Like how can I be popping in social media world? Nigga, how can I be popping in the meta?
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And see, and they see. There's the smart motherfuckers who's picking up on this shit. Created OnlyFans. Like, nigga, you don't even like if you fucking with me because what I'm doing with this shit, nigga, it's OnlyFans is gonna be in my shit. Like, I don't care if
Right.
you don't like me. My fans love me.
You're right.
OnlyFans, nigga, it's up. Like,
Yep.
you know what I mean? But that's what I mean. Like, if you're doing that shit, you selling yourself on that type of time. Well, let's talk about this. Everybody's talking about artificial intelligence, right?
That's cold.
This shit is going past intelligence. This shit is going into artificial beings.
Transhumanism. Did
This
we have a
shit,
show on that shit?
not yet. We need to though, for sure.
Yeah.
We probably touched it slightly, but
Yeah.
it's just like when you get into this shit, just like you were saying with the filter, and I was laughing because when you saw about the filters and shit, right? I had made a post because you know I'm saying I don't care. I had made a post saying like, you know, even back in the days where filters went out, certain women went back and filtered those pictures.
That's crazy as hell.
Hey, and I seen it. It's just like, hold on, nigga, that filter went up.
To change how you look, they trying to go back and recorrect. No, I was looking like this back then too. This was in 2010. Like,
that wasn't no filters back. Where them dog ears come from?
Man, right, for real. There wasn't no TikTok, none of that.
But just to say, like, you know, when it comes down to that shit, it's just like the level of even Pac said it when he was alive. He said fake hair, fake nails, fake eyes too. So are you surprised that you're dealing with a fake guy too, or some shit like that? Just like saying like, well, if your whole image is fake, like who are you looking for?
What is that attracting? What you put out is what you get back.
And it's only going to be a fantasy. And I don't fuck. Some niggas have a extensive fantasy to where, yeah, bitch, I love you. We're in a relationship. Nigga, after that 3 years, nigga, like, yeah, it attracted me for a little bit. Nigga, it's a wrap.
And that's where that self-love, really come into play because, you know, you did all of that. You made yourself look a certain type of way to present yourself in a certain type of fashion, which attracted a certain type of person to you. But when it came, like you said, after that 3-year mark shit, sometimes maybe after that year mark, when y'all actually get into real self shit, you be like, yeah, she not for me, nigga. Like, this ain't it. You know what I'm saying? Or vice versa. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's over, nigga. We done played the shit out. You know what I'm saying? We done role played it out. And now it's like, yeah, she actually got problems dealing with this, or nigga, her and her peoples don't even talk, or nigga, like, you know what I'm saying? You start realizing so much real shit because once you get past all them layers, the makeup layers and shit, and you get down to the real, you like, you ain't dealt with some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then vice versa, if you know what I'm saying, based off of the dude that you are attracting. So, and that's why it's like, especially now when talking about, I mean, and I'm not gonna say every last single one of them, but when you deal with the men that you know talk about self-love and you can kind of see that on them, and they find a female that's, you know, in her natural state that loves herself in a sense, you know what I mean? Like, it seems like them relationships go further, or they at least try to get a better understanding, you know what I mean, from each other on that type of time.
That's a fact. Because when it comes down to that, man, it's just like, I would rather, and I do, you know, not to get into that shit too deep, but you know, just role playing with a female on some regular type of time, and then we can role play, like, you know what I mean? Like, nigga, dress up like this, dress up like that, or talk to me like this, and I would talk to you like that, like, you know what I mean? So,
right.
At the end of the day, I'm already locked in with her, as opposed to you are the way, and then when it's time to get into your regular character, it's like, hold on, nigga, what the fuck is that?
Right. Exactly.
But it just comes down to where it's just like, you know, what they say, like, not dealing with one what what is that shit? Not dealing with one a lot of women in one way. You just deal with one woman in a lot of different ways. And I think that when it comes down to, just social media alone, like, you know what I mean? People got to understand that, it's just a platform. This is just, or these are just apps. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Now, there is points in times to where you're dealing with somebody and they could be 1,000% themselves. Like, you know what I mean? There still may be things that you don't know about that person, but they can still be who they are. But when it comes down to because I know I do this shit, like, you know what I mean? If somebody send me a friend request and shit, hop in they shit, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Looking at the pictures, I'm like, okay, that got a filter. Yep, filter. Yep. Okay, yeah, that got a filter. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Because it's just like, unless outside of that shit, I gotta hit it. Now I gotta hit your inbox. I be like, hey, I don't mean to be no creeper shit, but can I see a real pic and shit? Can I see what you really look like? And
Right.
it puts you in a different space because it's just like, well, those are my real pics. Like, no, they're not.
Right.
All of
real
those
pics with filters. Right. Take the filter off.
You know what I mean? And I'm a no filter type nigga in my own energy, so I don't want you to have a filter when I look at your pictures. Like, you know what I mean? So just that level of being open with people. I think social media has captured the thing to where it's just like, I don't have to be me. Like, you know what I mean? But playing devil's
That's
advocate,
that meta.
I guess if you really want to know who I am, you can look past, and I'm saying this jokingly and serious at the same time. You can look past all this filter shit if you really want to get to know me. If you just are looking at these filters, then you're not interested in me anyway. But if you want to get to know me, you gotta you gotta part this goddamn Red Sea, nigga. And I have to say that because I always leave room for a little bit of cushion to where it's just like, okay, yeah. And I think that that would still have to play both ways. Let me say it just like that. Because if you got 20 pictures, 10 have a filter, absolutely fine. But please just have the other 10 non-filtered. So I can be like, okay, well, I'm not wasting my time. You know what I mean? If I'm gonna overlook the ones that are filtered, like, or if I'm trying to get to know you for real, and it's just like, well, she don't got all of them filtered, so I may have a chance to unlock them doors and bust down the gates and kick in the doors, and you know what I mean, just so I can get to know the real you. Like, you know what I mean? If everything is filtered, then I'm not gonna waste my time. I'm sorry about that.
Hey, it's finna be worse during the meta times.
Yeah,
I swear, because now you could create a whole character. Shit, your ass could be nigga actually white in the meta. You know what I'm saying? But if a nigga was like, hey, I want to actually, like, you know, like, you cool peoples, I'm trying to actually meet up with you in for real life. And then you walk up on somebody that look told, like, you know what I mean? It's just like, what is, I mean, in a sense, when you look at it, you know, you can look at it from a lens of like, well, that'll get people to stop looking and worried about what a nigga look like or how, you know, what people look like versus, you know, what they soul is presenting to you, you know what I mean? Like the energy, you know, so that shit could be popping if you ain't, but I don't know, just where people is at mentally right now, it seemed like they ain't on that type of time.
Yeah, see, and I was gonna say, you know, you just now gave a lot of leeway. Like, you know what I mean? You gave a lot, like, you know what I mean? But it comes down to that, it's just like, you know, if you want somebody authentic, like, you know what I mean? You just gonna put in a situation and be like, hey man, this is my energy. Like, you know what I mean?
Hey, she
like,
can play you though.
That's true. But
she can make an ugly ass profile and actually be very, you know what I'm saying? Actually be, you know, nigga beautiful or something.
Let me tell a story if I haven't told this shit on this podcast and shit before, right? I was my first time, I want to say probably my only time doing a blind date and shit, right? Did I tell you the story before? Blind date.
Ah,
Blind date. This the early 2000, like 2003. One of my first blind date and shit. Talking to the shit, yeah, you know, we gonna meet up, yada yada yada. So we meet up at Barnes and Nobles and shit, right? Meet up at Barnes and Nobles. And so we here and shit, you know, look cool and shit. Okay, yeah, whatever. You know, we just chopping it up. And so we end up because we was talking about going on a date, hella different places, but out of all things, we chose to go to the drive-ins and shit, right? So
okay.
we leave at I'm in North Sac. We leave at a Barnes and Nobles, and we go because we took her car and shit, like, you know what I mean. So I don't even think I had a car at the time, but we took her car. And so we walk into her car and shit. We just chopping it up, like, you know, you get that energy and shit or whatever's up. And she ends up, she's like, "Oh, this is my car right here, yada yada yada." And I'm looking, it's like a fucking, like a Toyota or some shit like that with the hatchback, like, you know what I mean. So I'm just like, yeah, I'm not tripping about the shit. I don't got a car, so you know, so that's already a plus. So I'm like, it's up. So I get in and shit. And I'm looking around and so I'm trying to throw my seatbelt out. There's no seatbelt and shit. And she was like, nah. She was like, no, there's no this part of the seatbelt. So she was like, our seatbelts have to connect. So I had to connect somehow my shit to her shit. And then we had to share the same seatbelt. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, all right.
different.
That's hella different. Like, okay. So we crashed. We both crashed in this motherfucker. We gonna have the same impact. But anyway, so that, and I overlooked that, and I was just like, okay, and I'm making jokes and shit, like, you know what I mean? I'm talking shit, and then so we finna start driving and shit, and I'm like, all right, I'm trying to roll down the window. I'll go, you know, I'm looking for the power button. There's no power button, and then so I'm like, okay, so where's the manual? You know, whoopie wop, like, you know what I mean? Nothing. She was like, oh, like, yeah, I'm just trying to roll down the window and shit. She's like, nah. I said, what do you mean, nah? Like, what's up? She was like, the window don't work. She's like, I can roll down my window, but you can't roll down your shit. I said, God damn. And so I overlooked that shit. I'm like, okay, yeah, it's still up. Still, you know, shit happens. Like, you know what I mean? Like, like, you know, it's still, mind you, I haven't had a car, but I've been in some underbuckets and shit. The homies and shit are family members or whatever. So, nigga, mind you, again, we going to the drive-ins and shit. So, this is when this is when 8 Mile come out, right?
Right.
Hey, drive-ins, you know the drive-ins, Bradshaw, off the freeway, packed. So everything is packed. 8 Mile is out. This is when Eminem was hot. The movie's out.
Right.
Nigga, we were in the line and we see the fucking line from freeway. Like, nigga, this shit, you know what I mean? We're gonna have to catch the next show, you know, just based on the line. It's alone, like, you know what I mean? So we get there and shit. So we're talking the whole time, this whole fucking time. And it take us at least an hour or so to get to, you know, to where we pay for the tickets and shit, right?
Right.
So we getting up there and shit. I'm excited. I'm like, yeah, I heard this movie's kind of dope as fuck. Nigga, we get to the fucking front of the line to pay for the tickets. She was like, oh, my radio don't
I already knew you was going to say that shit. That's why I had started laughing when you said the drive-ins. I'm like, what type of, yeah. That's funny as hell. Like,
so look,
you agreed to go to the drive-ins knowing your radio don't work.
knowing your radio don't work? God damn. So the seatbelt situation, overlooked that shit. Window situation, no problem. We're waiting in line for an hour to go see this goddamn movie, and you don't think in your mind to tell me
the radio don't work.
But I have to say this part. So I'm like, the radio don't work. And at this point in time, I'm bugging. I overlooked everything else. And she was like, yeah, woody wah woo woo. Let's go to my house and get my other car. What? Go to her
Huh?
house. Go to her house. She came out in something chunky, like you know what I mean. She had in my mind it was mind you, I didn't have a car at the time, so she come out in like a Honda and shit, tinted windows, rims and shit, slap in the back. I'm like,
So you mean
what
to
the
tell me
fuck?
y'all drove
You
the
didn't bring this shit off the gate, like you know what I mean. But I'm saying
right?
all this shit to say, like you know what I mean. So she was, I guess, testing me to try to see what type of nigga I was, like you know what I mean. If I was gonna complain about all the shit that was going on, like you know what I mean, or you know what I mean.
Right,
So I
right,
couldn't, in my mind, I passed the test, like you know what I mean. And after that point,
right.
I'm talking. She was googly eyed, eye fucking me and shit, all the shit, just like you know what I mean. But at that point in
Mm-hmm.
time, I'm like, I'm kind of mad at her, but I'm kind of not.
Cause you
Like you
did
know what I
all
mean?
of
Like,
that, like man.
you
Hey,
did
that was a
I
real
did all of
test.
that shit, all of it, and I'm like, yeah, it's cool. But in my mind, I'm thinking like, motherfucker, like, wait, like, but at the end of the day, it was just like she came through, car, slap, went to go see the movie and shit, turned up, kicking it, like all the shit is just like, okay, yeah, I get it. So sometimes you do gotta put on, a certain type of facade or mask just to test to see what's popping and shit. But it's just like,
Mm-hmm.
uh, there's certain ways how to do certain things, and I think that you have to show at least a little bit of something. Now mind you, with that story, while the reason that I did not know that she did not have a radio is because we was talking the whole time, like you know what I mean. So
Right, right,
she did give me just that, just that much for me to be like, okay, at least the conversation is dope, if anything. So I wasn't even worried about the radio until we got to the front of the thing to where it was time. Like, you know what I mean? To
yeah,
say that, compare that to, okay, well, if all your pictures ain't got filters, you know what I mean, then we probably got something to talk about. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah,
If
yeah.
all of your pictures got filters, then I probably you gonna lose me. Like, you know what I mean? So just the level of, you know, the level of openness that you got with yourself is going to allow somebody else to come in and be able to see you or see your world. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Put on a facade to see if how they react to that facade. Like, okay, yeah, no, that wasn't even it for real. Like,
Yeah, I got bamboozled. I just like I said, I was kind of mad, but I was kind of like, damn, this bitch is kind of right though. Like, because if I would have, if I would have complained, she was like, yeah, this nigga ain't worth it. Yep, this
right.
nigga's so this nigga. But I'm just
I
there,
mean,
we were just speaking of this shit, and then the conversation was cool, so it was just like, yeah, sir. But
right.
but when it comes down to, again, social media shit, just, going back to the topic, like, can men really dictate what type of woman that you are? And then even vice versa, because I don't want to just, excuse me, I don't want to just keep it about the women. Can the women, create, a specific type of man? Like, you know what I mean? Like, is that, and I know we kind of crept away from the word create, but it's just like, you know, what would be the purpose of you even dealing with a person that you don't even approve of? Like, you know what I
Right.
mean? On any type of time, on any type of level, male or female, like, you know what I mean? So when it comes down to that, it's just like, man, look, obviously you're pulling something, you're getting something. Like, you know what I
Right.
mean? And that exchange is necessary to where, I know you said earlier about the balance. So it can, even though it may not balance you guys in a relationship, it's balancing you as an individual. Like, you know what I mean? And I think that uh on that type of time, it's just creating a certain space within you. So
That's why, hey, you seen the post I posted in the chat where it said
what
it
if
was like the
men,
flip. Yeah,
yeah,
imagine a man saying, "I would be masculine for the right woman," That shit was funny when I seen that shit. That's why I dropped it in there, and it was like kind of tied to what I was already talking
What we
about.
talking about? Definitely.
Um, but you always hear that on the flip end, when it comes to the women, like I'll be feminine for the right dude and stuff. And like you
Yeah.
saying, like that's why I say it's like you either are what you are, or you ain't. You know what I mean? Like it's not
Yeah.
like obviously you can see certain things from other people, get certain things from other people, and all that. You know what I mean? Which helps in your evolution when it comes to self.
Right.
But it's still you though. Like you know what I mean? You're still the main denominator to decide. Oh, I am gonna you know attach that to myself, or nigga, I don't want nothing to do with that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
So
see, that's the whole, just looking at it like that. Um, and that's why I like how you said about the creation part. Like, you know what I
right,
mean? Because even what you said in the chat is like either you are or you're not. And I'm a associate that with the creation part. It's just like, can you really create that energy within a person? I think you
it's
could bring
already
it out.
there.
Yeah, you could
Right,
bring it out, or you can expose it, or you can, bring it to the light. But I don't think that you can ultimately create that energy. Um, the person on the receiving end may look at it like, yeah, you created a monster, like, you know what I mean, within me. But it's just like, nah, like you was already that. I just presented an opportunity for you to um, put that shit, on display, like, you know what I mean. So, and sometimes we need that. Sometimes we need to deal with somebody who brings out that type of energy within us, just so we can explore that side of us, uh, and be true to ourselves, or have a new openness or awakening with ourselves. And I think that that's why certain people choose who they choose, even in a toxic relationship. Even if you like certain people, like, yeah, we're in a toxic relationship, and they subconsciously know that it's lit. Like, you know what I mean? They'll say, yeah, this shit is toxic, but it's lit. But it's lit
right,
for a reason. Like, you know what I mean? So the reason that it's lit is because it's making you either aware of certain things that you need to either get out of your system, or something that you always wanted to bring out, and then just dealing with this person just like, yeah, this shit is up. Going back to, you know what I mean, like good girls like bad guys and shit, like, you know what I mean, or just that whole quote unquote opposite, like, you know what I mean. It's just like, whatever that I'm not, and I want to be, I see it in you. So therefore, nigga, everything is gonna go up. And male and females know, just like, when we was younger and shit, if you the nigga that got the whip, you might be riding around with a banger and shit. You might be going to, on a I gotta go bust a couple knocks type shit, like, you know what I mean? You got a chick with you, nigga, she's in it. That shit is like heaven, like, nigga, I'm with the nigga, like, you know what I mean? So this nigga
right,
finna go bust
right,
knocks. Nigga he just now put his glove, I mean his gun, he took it out from the glove compartment and put it on his lap or put it on the side, little shit, like, you know what I mean? To where just like that shit is just like, okay, yeah, they like that type of shit, like, you know what I mean? Not that
mhm,
not that to say that, like, you know what I mean, like she's like a gangster chick, but just to see that different element of what that shit looks like, it's just like, damn, like, my parents, like, you know what I mean, like you might get a female from the burbs that's just like attracted to that shit for real, just like, oh yeah, and same thing, bitch. Don't you know that this nigga had me in a hood of
mhm.
Jersey?
Right. We down there got into a shootout.
I done seen this nigga count 2 bands in like 30 minutes, and this nigga told me to put the bullets in his gun and all this stuff. Like, you know what I mean? So just on that different type of exchange, it's just like hell yeah. But at the same time, it's just like, for the most part, though, a lot of those women that was younger at that time, they whole energy flipped to where it's just like, yeah, that shit was cool, but it's just like now I'm looking for somebody who's more, you know, in tune with what I got popping and shit, and turned into a woman and shit. So now, excuse me. So now it's just like, okay, well, how do we do this? Like, you know what I mean? How does this shit work? And
Mm-hmm.
so going back, just to the topic, the weak men creating a strong woman or a masculine, because we got to stick to the masculine
Yeah.
part. Again, it's just like just the masculine part of it. Like, yeah, if it takes you to see a weak man to bring out the strength in you, is that a problem? Is that hazardous to you know your
Right.
experience? Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And if you are a masculine, I guess the opposite of that, because it wasn't stated, but I would have to take it there because how it was typed up. If you're a masculine woman, right? And if you're dealing with a masculine man, then that allows you to be feminine. So it's just like, yeah, well shit. Well, maybe, it's time for you to take that break to where you need to explore your feminine side. You know what I mean? So it's just
Right.
like, I think
Mm-hmm.
that these different exchanges kind of like help more than they do hurt. Like, you know what I mean? And again, this is all perspective. This is all how you look at shit. This is all how you think about it. And again, if for the majority of your life you've always been feminine, then and you always want to see what it felt like to be masculine, get you a weak dude. Like, you know what I mean? The math is there. Like, you know what I mean? Or if you've always
Yeah.
been masculine and you want to be feminine, get you a masculine dude. Like, you know what I mean? So again, going back to whatever works for you works for you. Whatever works for y'all works for y'all, because we can't leave a dude out of the equation. He as the weak dude probably, was always a strong guy, and he just, you know what I mean, was always taking care of a female to where just like, let me see what it feel like for me to not do shit and for this motherfucker to make
Mm-hmm.
all the plans or do all the shit, or, be on that type of time. And then he gets that opportunity to do that, you know what I mean? And then vice versa with the other type of shit. So it's just like, whatever your experience is, whatever you're trying to deal with, whatever works for you. Because we gotta understand that we're not just one dimensional. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Exactly.
I think that a lot of the times we get mixed up in thinking that we can only be one way at one time, and we're supposed to be this all the time and shit like that. So we're just like, nah. Like, sometimes we need to explore different parts of ourselves, and there's people out there to help us do that. Again, going back to what I was saying about the soulmate shit. Not to say that your soulmate is even supposed to stay with you for the duration of your whole existence in this reality, right? So it's just like, nah, your
Mm-hmm.
soulmate could have been somebody who sparked some different shit in you, and then they checked out. Like, you know what I mean? So it's just about
Yeah.
what
Absolutely
you do,
right.
like, you know what I mean, and what you want and what you need and what you want to explore. You're always going to attract. And I think you said it earlier. So, to what do you attract? Like, you know what I
That
mean?
part.
And that's a real big situation to what you attract, because you attract ultimately what you are or what you're looking for or what you need in certain scenario.
Yeah. That part. If you feminine, you walk around, in that type of energy, you're most likely gonna attract somebody that likes that type of energy, which would be the opposite for the most part. You know what I mean? Like, and so, but yeah, like it's a man, it's a balance thing with all these different conversations, and you know what I mean. Like, it seemed like there's a new topic each week that got people going crazy, and it's like when you really start looking at majority of these the situations that's happening and all of that type of stuff, it always gonna come back down to balance. You know what I mean? Like balancing out the highs, the lows, you know what I'm saying, the positives, the negatives, to find that common ground between the two people, you know what I mean? Or the situation or whatever. So yeah, man, we gotta stop pointing the finger at one
Right.
side, you know what I mean? Like it's
I
like,
was just
okay,
yeah. I
really
was
think
just
and
about
look
to
at
touch
yourself, you know what I mean? More so than
right,
anything outside of
right
self.
there. I was just about to touch that. Uh, I have to be careful with my words, but I have to shout out, certain people who Because again, like we're all looking for ourselves and somebody else. Like you know what I mean, and that's why there's different people in this world. It's not just us, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the people who we deal with would ultimately be reflections of who we are and who we are not. Like you know what I mean. So when it comes down to that, sometimes we're trying to figure out who we are within somebody. Like, you know what I mean? So when it comes down to that, that's absolutely fine. But sometimes when you figure out either this is who I am or who I'm not, you have to take that time to tap in with self. You have to disassociate yourself with everything moving. And I hate to say it like that. But as like, like sometimes as an empath, we take on so many different people's energy and we associate that with our energy. And sometimes we confuse the two like, well, nah, I love this person because such and such and such. And you think you love them because they're giving you what it is, but it's ultimately it's just like you've already embodied their energy as yours. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
But it just
Right.
sometimes you have to take that step back and be like, okay, well, let me see, no disrespect, but who I am, like, you know what I mean? And then be like, okay, well, nah, I don't, I'm not fucking with that person like that. Even though the experience was what it was, but I don't resonate with that energy. Like that was that person's energy. We had a certain type of, time and shit. But at the same time, it's just like, let me step away, be in my own self, be in my own type of time, and then, okay, now I have a clearer vision of what's popping because there's not a lot of energies that's coming. So I
Yeah.
think that
Yeah.
a lot of times that people, um, and there's nothing wrong with it. I have to say that, but they want to associate themselves with other people and be in constant relationships, like you know what I mean, to get that constant confirmation. Sometimes confirmation only comes from just being the observer and looking at shit and looking at self and being like, hey, okay, well, all right, this is what it is. Let me kick back. Let me take notes. Let me take time for myself to see what's what. And sometimes we don't allow ourselves to do that. There could be times to where when you're by yourself, you can seem like you're by yourself, like you know what I mean. But sometimes you need to be by yourself, like you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean. And that's one of the hardest pills to swallow when there's a billion people in the world. You're like, but I got to be by myself. Like, you know what I mean? Like that can seem like the craziest shit. Like
Right.
I don't get to exchange with nobody. I don't get to see what the reflection is with nobody. I have to look at myself for the reflection. And for some people, it's kind of it's a task. Like, you know what I mean? And that task sometimes is just like it's difficult. There's nobody to hold your hand. Like, you know what I mean? You may have some type of past childhood traumas to where it's just like, you never really got that support, or you got too much support to where you don't know how to be by yourself. So it's just
Yeah.
like at that time, it's just like, hey, but the ultimate thing is, in any situation when dealing with relationships, is to do that shadow work. I don't think that it's your partner's job, and I have to say it just like this. Even though when you have a partner, you're supposed to work together, and they help you work on your shit, you help them work on their shit. But ultimately, I don't think that your partner is responsible for you to tap into yourself like that. And I think that a lot of people put that on their partners, and that's how relationships go bad. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we probably got to have a show about that. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
is your
That's a
partner
whole show.
responsible for, you know what I mean, for you tapping in with yourself? Like, you know what I mean?
Hell no.
And when I
Can't.
say that, because again, I have to say it just like this. When you're in a relationship, like, if you love that person, you want to see them thrive. You want to see them get past any type of childhood traumas, whatever type of hurdles. But is it your responsibility to do that for real? You understand
Exactly.
what I'm saying? So it's just like, yeah, I'm here with you. Yeah, I love you. Yeah, it's up. But there's
It's like you trying to cheat off of my paper, motherfucker.
Yeah. Hey, promise. Hey, there was damn, so if you're gonna bring some real shit up. There was a cat there was a cat, a partner who I was working with when I used to work at AutoZone and shit, right? And we used to just chop it up about hella different shit on some up shit, everything too and shit, right? But we chopped it up from A to Z. And
Yeah.
I was talking to him about a chick I was talking to at the time and shit. And he was like, he used to call me Juan. He's like, yeah, Juan, Oakland nigga, like sounds just like MC Hammer. Like, yeah, Juan, what about whoop? And then he'll be just dropping hella shit and shit, right? And then so I was chopping up with him about something about relationship type shit. And he was like, hey, Juan, he was like, that's don't come in twos, that's come in ones.
Yeah, for real.
I said,
Real
hey,
shit.
but how he said it, it was hella funny. But I understand what he's just like you were saying, like, nigga, you can't cheat on my test. It's just like, nigga, desks don't come in twos in school. Desks come in ones.
Yeah, by yourself. You sitting right there by yourself.
One time it's to the necklace, like, you know what I mean? And again,
Mm-hmm.
like, sometimes people feel like, when you're in a relationship, like it's your responsibility to uh see them through certain things or even hold their hand through certain things, which to a certain degree, that's absolutely fine. Like, you know what I mean? But when it comes down to certain things, like sometimes you just gotta bang that shit out to the necklace. And
Yeah.
it's fucked up because I'm the type of person that, especially if I'm in a relation, I'm loyal, like, you know what I mean? And even in friendships, I'm loyal. So I want to see motherfuckers thrive and survive and do all the shit. But at the same time, I got that it's cutthroat. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I have to give you this shit.
You gotta have
How
that though.
you gotta have it. Like, you know what I mean? And it's just like, and I give you love first. So if you don't understand the opposite side of that, then that's something that you need to work on. I can't help that part. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
and it's
just
not
like,
like you cutting. Well,
yeah,
I mean, sometimes it could be, but like you
yeah,
cutting niggas off for yourself. Like, you know what I mean? Like some shit that you got to deal with on your own type of time, and you don't need no outward, distractions. Like I don't need you to distract me from me, nigga. I don't need nothing but you know what I'm saying. Like I got to take this time to get acquainted and understanding the self first before I start doing any kind of moving around and shit. You know what I mean?
that's a fact.
That shit is it's like you have to do that. Like nigga, it's not even a matter of, well, like you can do the shadow work if you want to. Like no. You
Nah,
have to do that shit.
it
If
ain't.
you want to make it to that place where you feel me, like you feel me, the higher levels of understanding or lower depending on your perception, nigga. Uh, it's motherfuckers, I don't want to, but
All right.
anyways, you got to put in the work to see the results pretty much
That's a fact.
ultimately, you know what I mean? So if you trying to change the way that you think and change the way that you do certain things, yeah, you got to go into that chamber, you know what I'm saying, and sit in that chamber with self for a minute, because just you're gonna get all your answers when you do that. Then yeah, you can come out of hibernation as a new, refreshed, person, and
Yes.
continue to start moving and stuff. But yeah, you're gonna have to sit down, bro. You're gonna have to sit down.
No, you're right. And I like how you put the hibernation situation, right? Um, because that's synonymous with the fucking caterpillar butterfly situation. Like, you know what I mean? So when it comes down to that, it's just like there's not a double cocoon. Like, you know what I mean? Like
There's
there's
two of them in
one,
there and shit.
right?
Nah, oh,
There's
it's
one,
one.
there's one cocoon for one person that's gonna fit just your body, like, you know what I mean, or the caterpillar's body, and then you know what I mean, and then when you make that transformation or transition and shit, then it's
Hmm.
gonna be that. But outside of that, it's just like, then when you come out, then you're gonna see other butterflies flying, and then you're gonna see motherfuckers that you might not even recognize. I don't know if butterflies still have the same mentality to recognize like the caterpillars that they used to kick it
I
with.
know, right?
But you got a whole new body and shit, new body. But of course, the line gonna change because of perspective. Like nigga, you was once crawling on the ground and seeing you had to look up, but now in a butterfly sense, you're up, and then you could look down, you could look around, like you know what I mean. So you get a different perspective of life. Like you know what I
Exactly.
mean.
It
When it
full
comes,
circles you in a sense. You start on one
right,
side of the spectrum, and you gotta go into your shadow self to touch that other side of the spectrum, which then gives you the full spectrum of
right,
understanding to know, okay, this is when I need to move, this is when I need to chill, like just the understanding of how shit moves for real.
right, and see right there with what you just now said. When you, and I hate to say it like this, but I gotta say it like this. Sometimes we there's a prejudice with people, right? Meaning we prejudge people by how they move and shit, right? But
Mm-hmm.
sometimes that prejudice is based upon how we feel
Yourself.
about ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
or the lack of shadow work that we do. Like you know what I mean? Because imagine uh you're judging somebody or a group of people for some shit, and then you're just looking. But imagine that group of people coming to you. So how come you don't? What? Why are you judging us? And then you have to answer that shit, right? And then so they start going in, and then what if they ask you, well, are you? Why are you worried about me? Are you not focused on yourself? I think you're muted right
Exactly.
now.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to that, it's just like, damn, like then you get to looking at shit like, all right, well, maybe I do need to do this shit to get that level of understanding. Because my thing is, when you understand yourself, you would understand everything that's around you. Like, you know what I mean? Because
Mm-hmm.
like, that mathematically to me that's only correct because it's just like again everything is a reflection of you. So it's just like not to say that you're going to understand everybody, but when it comes down to a certain level, it's just like, well, this person is doing this, and then me personally, I automatically think, well, do I do some shit like that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, do I do that
Exactly.
shit? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if
Yeah.
I do it, then I just write it off like, yeah, that nigga's just doing some regular nigga shit. If I
Right.
don't do it, I'll be like, damn, well, why is he doing that shit? Like, you know what I mean? So to me, it's
Right.
that understanding. I could be slipping.
Thinking and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I could be slipping. Like, nigga, this nigga
Mm-hmm.
be punching himself in the chin every morning. Well, why don't you punch yourself in the chin every morning? That nigga's testing his chin just to make sure that his chin is good if somebody else hit this nigga. So maybe I need to punch myself in the chin.
Let me try that out, man. Let me see what's popping with that.
just in case.
Hey, that experience, man. You can't get stuck in comfortability. You gotta get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
That's a
You
fact.
know, that's really what it comes down to. You stuck on the physical side? Okay, go see what that non-physical side talking about. So you can get a
Right.
full understanding of both, you know what I'm saying? How they working together and shit. And that
Right.
goes
That's a
for any fucking thing. You know what I'm saying? Relationships. Let me go see what they on, like how they thinking, how they viewing shit.
right.
You go over there and experience that side so I can see, how to better fuck with my side in a sense.
No, you're right. You absolutely correct. Even sometimes, even some experiences lead us to um think that all experiences would be like that. Just to put it in layman's terms, like, some
Hmm.
experiences break your fucking spirit. Like, you know what I mean? But it's just like,
To build that bitch back up stronger.
yeah, what do you think that experience was for?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So it's just like I've been in situations where it's just like, hey, some of these motherfuckers out here is bananas. But do I think all people out here is bananas? Like, you know what I mean? Like, nah. Like, you know what I mean? And then it's just like it kind of adjusts your energy in a sense of where it's just like, yeah, but it's just like, but does that kill off who you are ultimately, right? Does it put uh the blackball on everybody? Because if you blackball everybody, you're blackballing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You can say all these niggas ain't shit, or even if as a nigga, all these bitches ain't shit. Fuck these bitches. Well, who are you gonna deal with? Like if you say
Yeah.
all bitches are shit, who are you dealing with, niggas? So it's just like, in a certain sense, it's just like, take whatever experience that you have and make that shit work in your favor. Like, you know what I mean? And it's easier said than done, but at the same time, it's just like, when it comes down to that shit, it's just like, well, why is this shit happening to me? Is the initial response. Why is it happening to me? Why did that happen to me? And then, but if you stay in that energy, I hate to say it, but it's a non-growing situation. If your question should become immediately after the feeling part, why is it happening to me? To why is it happening for me? That's when you start
Right.
thinking,
Exactly.
like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, this shit is happening for a reason. Well, what is that reason? Can we sit and talk about that for a minute? Not even talk. We don't even got to speak about it. This situation is happening for a reason. Let me let that shit linger for a little bit. It opened me up already. I'm already open to the situation. So let me open up to myself to see, check myself first to make sure, that it's nothing internal. If it's nothing internal, well, what's this external shit about? So either way
Mm-hmm.
you want to put it, it's a London situation, but just looking at it from that is just like, yeah, but if you play victim, then you're gonna stay victim. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't
Exactly.
think a lot of people understand that, because if you wanna play victim, it's just like it's everybody else, it's not you. Where's accountability at? Why did that happen? Why did you allow that shit to happen? What's going on?
Yeah. Facts.
You didn't see that shit from the gate, just like you said. So like, the nigga you pick, the female that you pick, like, you know what I
Exactly.
mean? Like, unless you just wilding, like, you know what I mean? Like, nigga, I've been drunk for the last 2 years.
Right.
Every day
Right.
I was drunk when I was with this bitch. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know what
Uh-huh.
happened.
Nah, for
But other
real.
than that, it's just like, the type of situation that you put yourself in. But the shadow work is, why am I continuing to put myself in these situations?
Ultimately, that's it right there, bro. Like,
Who,
nigga hit
who,
it on the head.
who yeah, who are these people whose energy I'm taking in? Why am I taking it in? When it comes down to, uh again, like, we have to look at X's as experiences. That's what X is. Like, you know what I'm dictionary won't say it, whoever won't say it, but I came to this conclusion in my own mind. Your X is your experience. Like, you know what I
Everything,
mean?
man.
Something that you needed to get out of your system. And that's why you don't want to deal with your ex. But guess what you do want from your ex? You want closure. Why do you want closure? Because you're trying to see, you know, the conclusion of, okay, that experience was nice, but let's think about this. Let's see what happens. Like,
Right.
let's see what, you know what I mean? Like, the moral of the story was like, so you want that closure. Close the book. Like, you know what I mean? So when
Mm-hmm.
it comes down to that, it's just like, was it him or was it me? If you don't put yourself in that it was me type situation, right? Not to say that it's always you, but if you attracted that energy, or if you're attracted to that energy,
Yes.
it's you.
Everything
What are you
is you
talking about?
though, for
It's
real. You
you.
can't blame with anything going on. You can't blame nobody else. Like
You can't.
everything is your problem, your decision. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's a whole different type of podcast for real. Because I know we didn't said that before, and that's a hard one to get across to people. Like, so you mean to tell me this person that did a shootout, like, you know what I'm saying, it's my fault? Like,
Yes.
did you choose to drive to that motherfucker? Like, did you choose to, like, but yeah, that's, we could touch on that a whole nother time, but
Yeah, that's a little or a lot deeper.
a lot, yeah,
But it's still a
exactly.
line though. So we're
But
just
yeah,
like,
no matter what, you are,
yeah,
the reason or the cause is because of you.
right. It's you.
Good and bad, you know what I'm saying?
The level of just dealing with certain people is just like, you know, well, such and such and such, and they can come up with 1,000 reasons.
Yeah,
And it's just like out of those 1,000 reasons, they're not included in not one of them.
I know, right? Yeah, accountability.
But what at that point in time, and I hope that people that come up with those type of shits, you don't got to tell me, like, you know what I mean, like, you don't have to tell me nada. You can lie to me all day. I don't give a fuck. Just don't lie to yourself.
Man,
That'd be the thing, like, cause again, like
that's, bruh.
we're grown now, so it's just like cause just like you said,
If you
on
lying
some,
to yourself, you lying to anybody else, nigga. It don't even
yeah,
fucking matter. You know what I'm
don't give
saying?
a fuck about shit. It's a done.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
ain't gonna take it serious. But just like you said earlier, on some observer type of time, it's just like, tell me more about me though, because I know it's not about me. So I'm just listening, just like, yeah, that me is you, like, you know what I mean. So it's up, but it's just like, to take that time out for self, it's just like, yeah, hell yeah. But when you're taking that time out for self, you're going to analyze a lot of things, right? You're going to analyze
Mhm.
this, you're going to analyze that, what this person did to me. So it's cool to analyze and then give an outside analysis of the data in which you put yourself in or the situation that you was in.
Exactly. Yep.
But you have to remind yourself that you was there.
Exactly. Exactly. You
And
was there.
then when it comes down to acknowledging you was there, wasn't nobody else there. That's the coldest
Right.
part ever. Wasn't
Mm-hmm.
nobody else there but me. Why did I
Yeah.
allow this shit? What
Yeah.
happened?
Exactly. The experience, bro. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. You got to experience to get better understandings of self. So if you don't really fully understand yourself, that's why you chose the experience that you chose to go through to hopefully better, you know what I'm saying, get an understanding of self
So
ultimately. So all is self. Man, you
yeah,
can't
so
forget
going
that shit.
yeah, just to spin a block all the way back to the beginning of the block, that create word. Do
Man,
men create masculine women and do uh strong men create feminine women? It's just like the accountability or self accountability that comes down to, can't nobody create your situation. I hate
nah,
to be blunt as that, but I have to be that serious. I have to be that blunt. I have to be that open to say, can't nobody dictate your situation. They can suggest whatever they're doing with that energy,
guides.
and you can take that energy and in your perception make that shit your reality, but you're making that shit your reality. Like, you know what I mean? So you're still making it what you want to make it, and it's just like, so you're creating. They can't create the shit. They can suggest it. You create the shit.
Yeah, exactly.
So uh I don't, again, it's always a two people party to this shit.
And
Like,
that's us talking about it. Like I said, I thought we we was gonna get a couple of other ones in here on that type of time too, to really be able to broaden just from where we at with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
But it'd be another day, another time and shit. I guess for that, or we just hit it on the head. Apparently.
Hey, look, I've in my mind been on both sides of the token, and my energy.
Right. Exactly.
This bitch made me crazy. I might have already been crazy before this bitch made me crazy.
Hey.
Well, why are you allowing this bitch to make you crazy when I have to step outside of myself and talk to self? Hey, well, hey, what's your quote, self? You got to know thyself. What's your shit? What's your shit?
Well, you gotta tap into self and know thyself.
Right, so yeah.
Yeah, for real.
I have to tap into self to know thyself and shit, right? Like, all right, nigga.
That's me, nigga. Shit.
Yeah, maybe she ain't that diabolical, even though she may be.
Right.
But why do I like it? Why do I read into
Right.
it?
Yeah. Exactly.
Why
That's
do I
something about you.
like, you know what I mean? People don't understand that we pick up on energy. We know, like, you know what I mean. We get it. We understand, but it's just like niggas still hop into that pool. Like, nigga, hey, you know, there's a in that lake, there's some leeches in that motherfucker. Look at that. So,
right.
You gonna strip down into your drawers? Yep. You gonna skinny dip? Yep. Fuck it.
That nigga retarded. They all finna be nigga looking at you and shit. All right, now get out, get out.
Right. Hey, help me out.
Right. See, I told your ass not to go up in that water.
Sometimes, hey, what they say, you gotta burn leeches off and shit too, so that shit gonna burn like a motherfucker. Ah, nigga.
I know, you burning yourself, nigga. Why you put yourself through all that, man?
But that shit is just like, again, just like, nah, I don't, the creation part, I don't think, that shit is what it is. It's self, man. You gotta tap into self. Gotta tap in with self to know thyself.
Always.
I got to sit down now. Gotta tap in with self. I hear that all the time, but now just for this podcast, it makes sense like a motherfucker,
right? Right, yeah, the perfect one.
Right.
Nah, for real. Shout out to the chat, man. Everybody that's still in here watching. See, we got a couple of people that's been, silently just in here. That's what's up too. We fucks with y'all.
Yeah, definitely. It's it's fun. Hey, to go on some different type of time. I had posted something that somebody had shared about me and shit, right? She had shared some shit about me. She had tagged me, but she had mentioned that in a tux because she was telling me like certain dreams. She's like, "What does this dream mean?" Such and such and such. And I'm just like, "Hey, it seems like," and I'm suggesting things, and somebody saw that post and she was like, "Man, I just know ordered this book, and I'm not even gonna go through with the order." She was like, "I'm gonna just call you and get some dream interpretation and shit popping."
Right.
And I'm saying that to say, like, I would have to know you a lot. You would have to expose a lot to even, to have me even think about what you're going through because your dreams can mean your dreams are your dreams. Like, you know what I mean? So there's no way that I could just come in not knowing you and then just go into some shit. You would have to be open and honest with yourself, and then you have to be open and honest with me. And then I could see, well, what's on your mind? Okay, this is not okay. Because dreams are always reflections of what either you're going through or what you're about to go through. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, definitely. So, and I told her, I was like, hey, I don't tell a lot of people that I do dream interpretation and shit because, for one, like, you know what I mean? It puts like motherfuckers look at me like, hey, yeah, because the whole fucking the fucking cult leader shit, right? The
Oh
cult leader
yeah.
first, and then it's just like, on that type of time, it's just like, you know what I mean? I don't think that they would understand, but it's just like, nigga, like you could interpret your own dream. There's no book. There's no, you know what I mean? Like, cause there's no, I mean, a general consensus of the people that had certain dreams, and they was probably kind of like in the same state of mind, and they put it in the book, and it was like, okay, yeah, boom, it's up. But for the most part, you know who you are, you know what your dreams are reflecting, and you know what you need to do. And it's just like you just gotta accept that part about yourself. So
That's a fact.
ultimately people just need that alley oop to accept that part about themselves. Like, you know what I mean? And that's why it's so dope to have, different, to have people, to have different opinions, different perspectives, different aspects of certain different shit to where it's just like, okay, because for the most part, people know. Going back to the creation shit, did this person create this? Did this person create that? For the most part, people already know, they understand, but you're just going through the motions of having this shit play out in real time, and then you have a point of reference to say this person creates. So we're going to scratch out the create, and this person brought it out. This person exposed. This person helped me. This person did this. Like, you know what I mean? But for everybody, what was that? Rob, for everybody, is that? I don't know. It's World War III. For everybody that's watching, it's always dope to have somebody to talk to for sure. But sometimes you got to just beat to the necklace. Let me.
Yeah, that's
Hey,
fact.
do you mind if I respond to that real quick?
Yeah,
Because this is. Hey, Rob Knox, just because you're watching and because you posted that World War III, when they say there's a war outside that nobody is safe from, the thing that nobody is safe from is the reflections. So when we talk about any war, the war is within. There's no war outside of self. Like, there's that shit don't exist. Even if you talk to somebody who started the war, who got troops, who got all the weapons of destruction, there's some inner confliction between him or her. So when you say World War III, I can make that synonymous with the age of information, because there's so much information that's going on right now that is just like a lot of this shit is truth, a lot of this shit is bullshit. So there's a war between what you choose to associate yourself with. So that's the war. Like, you know what I mean? There's no. I mean, you can associate like, okay, some bombs and all this shit, but that's still a part of what comes internally first. All that external shit comes internal first. Like, you know what I mean? So that World War III shit sounds good. I don't even cast my vote, but
Remind me of the Hebrews.
Yeah, right. I don't play into none of that shit, because we already understand that this is an internal war. There's nothing outside of self. Going back to this podcast, like, you know what I mean? To where it's just like there's no creation of, somebody somebody creating you to be who you are. Like, you are who you are,
Who you
but you
are.
just don't know it. You don't know it yet. And that's where the war comes in at, because you don't know. That's what that shit is. So it's World War 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, Infinity. There's going to be Infinity War. What's that?
That's the Avengers.
I was just going to say that. Is that the Avengers? That Infinity War?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
I think it is. The Infinity War. Think about that. Infinity War.
It's always gonna be.
That shit just now hit me just now.
You got two things.
Yeah.
it's funny how they associate it as war, being the two things. You know what I mean? The opposites of one thing.
Right.
Okay, yeah, I guess we is in war, huh? War with ourselves. Okay,
Infinite. Infinite.
that's
Think
lit
about
then.
if we talk about if we talk about evolution. I want to hold on to this dope shit that I was in 2022. 2023 come, I'm like, but there's some dope shit though.
Yeah, exactly.
What I'm conflicted at that time. We're all what
It's
it's
always
a
gonna be that.
evolution. It's everlasting. It's eternal in the internal.
Hmm.
War. That's war. Eternal in the internal. Who the fuck are you?
Yeah, ultimately, yeah, that's the
That's
big
where it's
question.
at. Who the fuck are you? You don't know. Are you ever going to know? Are you ever going to say, hey, this is where I'm at? No. I mean, that's cool if you do, but sometimes it's going to be a conflict. Like, nigga, not. Everybody say all the time, I'm not the nigga who I used to be. You trying to bring out the old me. Well, where the fuck did he go? He's still right there. So the
Exactly.
conflict is always there. How you going to bring out the old you if it don't exist? Like, that shit don't even make no sense. Like, so we're always evolving. We're always going through a level of testing, and we're always at eternal war with ourselves. Like, you know what I mean? So that's the real war. They want you to think that it's something outside of self, but that's not the case. There's like when they say there's a war outside that no man is safe from. We're not talking about men. We're talking about mankind outside of self. Because where do we get our internal confirmation from? Outside of self. There's a war outside that no man is safe from. Evolution is a reflection of who we are. We're not safe from evolution. It's it's it is what it is. Like, you know what I mean? So people got to understand what war is, and people got to understand like just on different types of time, man. And when you start to understand that there is no you battling yourself, me versus me. A lot of rappers put that out there, like, you know what I mean, me versus me. But when you internalize that for real and honestly and open with yourself, it's just like, nigga, I get it. And who can beat me? Can't nobody beat you but you. Let's keep that a
Man,
bit.
we gotta
Ain't
get
nobody.
a. Uh, I'm over here because I know he'd be on that same type of time. But we ain't never had him on the show. Max 17.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, you want to know what? I'm finna tap in with him. I'm gonna
All
hit
right,
him
I'm gonna
and
have to
say, hey,
tap
we pull up.
into.
We just gonna chop. Fuck the
Yeah, shoot
title.
this
Fuck
shit.
everything. We just gonna shoot. Shit. That's gonna be this how to shoot the shit. We just shooting the shit.
Yeah, we gotta run that for surely. See what he got popping next week or something,
Yeah,
and
there
just
was
shoot the shit with him.
there be so many different people, including Max 17, that that be tapped in or that be spilling that spill, and I think that it's more than what's uh what's out there. Let me say it like excuse me, let me say it like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that sometimes society or even social media doesn't allow us or doesn't have or we don't think we have a platform in order to speak on this type of time because it's like you're going against the grain. But what the fuck is a grain? Who created the you know what I
I
mean, the
don't give a
criteria
flying
for the
fuck
grain?
about that.
You know what I mean? Like who did that? And why are you fucking with it? like you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
for
So it's just
real.
like you're like who you're going to off somebody else shit. So it's just like, but because we know it's like that, when we see certain people speaking out, we have to just like you just did. We have to acknowledge certain people who don't give a fuck. Like you know what I mean, and just be like, nigga, well, this is who I am, and this is how I feel. This is what I think. So it's up. And
Mm-hmm.
again, that has a lot to do with what we're talking about. right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just the creation of situations, just the creation of people and how they feel and how we go through different emotions and how we're here to learn and how the experience will shape and mold us to um, show us ourselves to ourselves so that we can become ourselves. Let me say that again. These situations will show ourselves to ourselves so we can become ourselves.
Where's the caption? You feel me?
Hey man. And
On
with it
that
on that
that type of time. On that note, man, shit, man,
remember
look,
that time?
and hey, I told you earlier. I'm like, nigga, I had this bike
Yeah,
ride yesterday, boy. That shit put
yeah.
me in a whole different space. Right? I'm telling you, boy, that shit got my body like, hey, yeah, nigga, your ass better lay the fuck down, nigga.
Hey, before we sign off, man,
Everything.
let me plug this book real quick. So I got it.
Yeah, man.
I know I said this a lot of times and shit, but I got a children's
All
book
the
that's
way
coming
till
out.
that bitch out.
Right, that's a fact. But it's called Go Out and Play, and it's literally like I literally sent out my manuscript. I literally just now I signed and made a deal with a publishing company that's going to publish and distribute my shit. So uh, it's not just talk anymore. Like, you know what I mean? It is where it's at, and it's gonna be up, and you guys are gonna see it. Oh, let me go into this real quick, Steph. I know we're finna close out, but
Yeah, yeah.
so a part of this contract went out because I got a mentor. When I say mentor, I just mean like somebody that's gonna teach me the game. Like, you know what I mean? Because I'm used to doing music. Like, you know what I mean? I didn't had music in certain uh, um, places and areas, and I got music digitally, right? But I also have music, and I had a deed that I put out called Sacramento Grind into a physical place to where you could go get it at and shit, right? Temple Records,
Okay.
before they close down. So I understand the business aspect and importance of consignment and shit, right? I want to make that shit real quick, consignment. But on a consignment deal that I had with Dimple Records, it was just like, you know what I mean? It's just like I set my price, I put my shit on their shelves, and then whatever I set my price for, they get a certain percentage of, how they do the
That
shit or whatever.
price.
So I get it. So on that point in time, at that point in time, they'll call me like, and hey, to keep it a band, that Sacramento Grind DVD up to this day right now was my highest selling shit that I put out and shit, right? But
Mm-hmm.
anyway, so when it came down to the deal that I'm doing right now, like there's digital distribution through Barnes and Nobles, through Walmart, through Target, through just so many different online platforms and shit, right? But
Mm-hmm.
we were talking about having in-store book signings and shit, right? So with these in-store book signings, there are certain people in places that have certain deals that is a part of going to their location to have book signings. So my main one that I was dealing with was Barnes and Nobles and shit, right?
Yeah.
So what Barnes and Nobles wanted is a 50% off of the retail value of the book and shit, of my book. Go Out and Play. They wanted a 50% retail value, and then they also wanted the option to return, right? So let me break down what that is. So, for instance, if I have an in-store book signing at Barnes and Nobles, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I have a projected 100 people come, if I have 100 people come, buy the book, you know what I mean, from them, like, you know what I mean, they're going to buy those books, right?
Right.
They're going to buy those books at 50% off of retail price. These niggas is
Right.
damn near getting a book from wholesale price, right?
Right, yeah.
So they're getting that, but then also they're getting the option to return. So say if I project 100 people to buy my shit, but
And only 50
75,
hit.
exactly,
Right.
50, 75 show up, right?
You seen
Then
all
the
that shit.
return on a return, I have to pay for the return process of these books being shipped back out and like all the shit. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, nigga, fuck that. Like, it's no disrespect because we ain't did no
But yeah,
business here.
no, niggas ain't
This
doing
is
that.
this is not just Barnes and Nobles, but me personally, right? How I move and shit is just I can't pay nobody to do some shit that I'm gonna do on myself. Like Barnes and Nobles to
Yeah.
me is just a name. Like up until I learned the business of that, talking to my mentor, just like, yeah, nigga, I'm like, because this is my thing. I'm gonna have the people. I'm gonna get my shit how I get my shit. I'm gonna sell it to them how I'm gonna sell it to them, right? And then we meet up at Barnes and Nobles, and then if just to bring that crowd to Barnes and Nobles, they may be like, well, while I'm at Barnes and Nobles, let me go ahead and get this book that I
This
always wanted to get, or let me see some different shit that they got up there other than this nigga wound shit, and then that's how you get your shit. Or you could do it just like how you do a show. Where you guys could get the door and I get the woody wop or some type of deal. But Barnes and
yeah.
Noble, they're so cutthroat with their deal is just like, nigga, off the top, we want
Yeah, that's
50% off
crazy.
the purchase, and also we got the option to return that you got to pay for it. I'm like, hey man, look,
Like, nah, I'm good.
yeah,
Yeah,
in
I'll
my
post outside your building, nigga.
yeah, on my own type of time, I'm already familiar with nigga hand over fist. I'm in the streets
Yeah,
selling my shit.
exactly. That's
And
a
if not
fact.
that, I've conducted a consignment deal to where it's just like, nigga, nah, like nigga, already like y'all can take whatever y'all want off the top, and it's still gonna sell. Like, you know what I mean? But it's just like, nigga, at the same time, it's just like I don't need y'all to push my shit. It's a good look.
Exactly.
It's a good look,
Right.
but y'all already gonna sell it online. Like, so if I
Exactly.
for
Exactly.
people who I can't touch in the physical, yeah, go ahead and do that. Yeah, go ahead and, if they order from your shit, you know what I mean? Y'all do what y'all do. Like, you know what I mean? It's up. But in terms of, nigga, if I'm going to be there, in terms of y'all I'm finna sign these books and do all this shit. Sorry, y'all. Like, all right, Barnes and Noble.
Yeah, no, that ain't popping. That
So
shit is
I'm
not
saying
lit.
all that to say for the people who's watching right now, right?
We gonna
Um,
switch it up.
I'm nigga. Hey, this is me. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, nigga, I'm
Yeah.
always out and about and touching people and talking to people and doing all this shit. So it's just like from whatever project to now, it's just like I still got that same method. I want to go talk to people. I want to show people
Right.
this is me, this is who I am, this is what this is. And like, you know what I mean? So I hustle, and I don't even want to say hustle because I'm selling myself for real. Like without the BBL that we were talking about earlier, I'm so when
Right.
it comes to that, you're going to get the authentic me. And on top of that, if I was to go through Barnes and Nobles, I would have to up my price because they want 50%. So I would have to charge more for the book just so y'all, just so I could get paid, just so they could get paid. Why do that when I could keep it at the price and I'm gonna keep it at, and y'all could get it for cheaper, and I could get paid, and everybody wins.
Everybody
Who
win.
at this point in time, who is Barnes and Nobles
Yeah, for reals. Nigga
besides
said
online?
a signed signature. Hey, won't sign this for me before you get up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like you
Yeah,
already,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
But
Like, okay, they
I'm
not
still now keep it a band. I'm gonna still do the sign because everybody's for the people who talk to me, they was like, hey, I want a signed copy. I'm gonna give you a signed copy. I'm gonna have bookmarks and everything. Hey, look, the deal that I is up, so I got personalized bookmarks. I got all type of shit, right? But
yeah.
when it comes down to just not charging the people more, nah, I'm giving it to y'all for less than what I was gonna do if I would have did a deal with Barnes and Noble to do the in store. Like, you
Right,
know what I
right.
mean? So now it's
Yeah.
just like, hey, I got this venue. I might have a homeboy or two that may allow me to pull up, like you know what I mean, or if it's a business that I want to fuck with and I want to see them
Put them
thrive,
in there.
but they're not
Right.
charging overhead. It's just like, okay, we're gonna post at this spot. These motherfuckers sell either clothes, food, or something like that.
Right.
We're doing a venture like that to where it's just like, instead of paying me that much more, you could get the book from me and what you was gonna pay Barnes and Nobles. Go get some food. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's just like, so I'm just trying to make sure that the people who I'm dealing with win. Like, you know what I mean? I don't want y'all to pay extra just because I'm dealing with Barnes and Nobles, and no disrespect to
Fuck
them.
Barnes and Nobles at this
Fuck
point.
I was just gonna say, fuck Barnes and Nobles. You know what I mean? Like, nigga, I set up a goddamn a table in a tent, nigga, in Sacramento on Broadway, nigga, pull up.
Yeah, for real. Nigga, we right in front of the, shit, we be right in front of the Barnes and Nobles.
Right. Because I said, they used to kick me out of certain spots or in front of certain spots before I used to do consignment deals. They be like, you can't post here. Why? Like, you know what I mean? I'm not, but I used to keep that shit respectful. I used to be like, I'm catching customers when they're coming outside the store and not going in. So I'm not stepping on y'all niggas' toes. Y'all catching them on the rebound.
Right.
But it's just like, but if I'm not in no building for real, nigga, it's up. Like, you know what I mean? But the people that people are going to naturally support me, it's just like already up. So I'm signing everything and we doing shit and we're gonna make an event. It's gonna be a video. We're gonna shoot. We're gonna have fun. It's gonna be a nice event. Bring the family, bring the kids, bring everybody. We're gonna have food. We're gonna have all type of shit. So it's just like, you know what I mean?
You got a projected date as far as when it's gonna actually hit all the stores, or like when you'll get your copies and all of that?
Yeah, now that's a great question. So when it comes down to that, this is because I have to market my shit because I am the CEO. Like, this is a business. Like, you know what I mean? So on that type of time, I have to roll out a marketing strategy, and this is a part of the strategy of what I just now said. First, it was like, hey, was Barnes and Nobles okay? Everybody come to Barnes and Nobles, and shit gonna be up. It's like, okay, yeah, cool. But now it's just like, nah, I don't want to do business with them like that because they want too much to do business, just for the name, just for the location. If it's just for the name, I can sell myself. Like, I don't need y'all to sell my name for sure. But for the location, like, if we're talking about location, I know other people that have their own businesses to where I could bring people to their businesses, mom and pop shops, whatever. Like, you know what I mean? So it's just like, on that type of time, it's up. So now it came from, okay, I could roll out my shit online and then just have people get it online. Then when I decide to do the books on, I could do it. Or I could, when I get my shit, get X amount of copies, and I'm rolling my shit out as soon as, like, fuck the online shit. Don't even put my shit out online. Wait to, like, people who I can't touch
you actually get it.
Yeah, exactly. When I order these physical copies, they could pull up. Like, you know what I mean? That's when they're for sale. Fuck that on. Don't
right.
Until after I roll this shit out and hit different cities and do these signings and shit and show up and do all the other shit. So when I do that, and then when I make sure that the people is getting them for a price that they supposed to be getting them for and shit, and okay, yeah, it's up. But other than that, like, you know what I mean? It's just like, okay, now you can get your shit on. Now, if I can't come to your city, or even for the people who I can't even touch like that, the price that I'm asking for is going to include shipping. So, like, you know what I mean? So don't even, I'm not even worried about you saying, okay, well, on top of this, I'm going to do that. Like, because no, the shipping's going to be in the price. It was just like, nigga, just shoot me the Addy. It's there. Like, you know what I mean? For the people who I can't touch. Like, because I got people all over the country that's looking for this shit, just looking for the book. Like, you know what I mean? So on that type of time, it's like, it's up. And I just want to make sure that as I'm winning, the people is winning and shit too, for the people who support me. Like, you know what I mean? So Amazon, like Amazon online, again, Walmart online, Target, it's going to be so many, like, worldwide distribution. But in terms of, just like I said, just as far as I know right now, it's Barnes and Noble. Like, how they're trying to work their shit, and they're Barnes and Noble, so they can ask for what they ask for. But I might find a mom and pop shop in Sac that might be like, hey, nigga, we just want 10%, and there's no return policy. And that's I'm even though I'm signed with some, I want to negotiate my own deal. Like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
exactly. It's
there's
you.
no return on this. I'm not returning nothing because whatever y'all order is what y'all order. And if y'all sell it, y'all sell it. Like, you know what I mean? If it's still on the shelf, it's still on the shelf. I sell on a penny and turn it to 100. Like, you know what I mean? So until it does that, keep it on the shelf. Support that shit. You know, promote it. Do whatever. Let me stop it. I got flyers. Like, you know what I mean? Let me stop a couple flyers up here. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like on that hustle type of time. I've already done it. Like, you know what I mean? So they got to understand, like, well, not they, because they're just on, you know, the receiving end. But I understand what type of energy I be on. So it's just like I'm negotiating my own deals when it comes to that. So if I'm dealing with
Yeah, that's the best way to do it.
a mom and pop shop, it's just like, hey, my deal is this. That 50% shit, that's out. Sorry about that. Like, you know what I mean? But
Yeah, they bugging.
if you talk about 10% or if we can negotiate a deal where it's just like, okay, yeah, you know, you do this, you get this, I get that, and then we're able to use this space, like, you know what I mean? Then hell yeah, it's up. If it works, just like we were talking about with the relationship shit, if it works for everybody, and I'm cool with the shit, and the people who are supporting the project is cool with the shit, and everybody's winning, then hell yeah, let's sign a deal. Let's get that shit popping. But other than that, nah, I'm not gonna overcharge nobody just because these other motherfuckers want to overhead. I'm not gonna do that at all.
Yeah,
I'd
they
rather pull up
lost.
on you.
Stay
Yeah,
lost, man.
that was their loss. Yeah, I'd rather pull up on you
You know?
and sell it to you for cheaper, and you get to see like it's a real meet and greet. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Just like
right, right.
now, just imagine we got a meet and
Way
greet
more
and we got a
real,
shot.
authentic interactions
Yeah,
and shit. You know what I mean?
that's a fact. Imagine we had a meet and greet and we got food there and we got, you know, wherever there, and you know we taking pictures and you know we because I'm a shoot a video to this shit, of course, shoot a video and all this shit and everything. It's a real big thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we finna blow this shit up as much as we can just to make it an event as much as possible and just to show the people, like, yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like,
You can do that
especially,
shit by yourself. You don't need
yeah,
all that
yeah,
extra shit, you know?
yeah, rolling this shit out in Sac, like, nigga, like, I love Sac so much, and Sac always been supporting me on all of my ventures. Like, you know what I mean? Like, everything that's popping. So, I already told the city, like, nigga, like, when I roll this shit out, the first city that I'm in Vegas, to where it's just like I got access to people from all over the country just being in one spot. But it's like my first rollout, it has to be in Sac. Like, I'm loyal to the soil like that.
Right. Go out and play, man.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Go out and play is a thing. Um, y'all gonna love this story because it just resonates with the people, man. It just resonates with the kids. Um, I know the adults are gonna love it because it can also relate to the adults as well. But it's just about getting out there and living your life, regardless to what situations that may come across, regardless to what quote unquote hard times may come about. Man, you still got to go out there. You still got to live life. Like, you know what I mean? So um, it's mainly for the kids, but it's also for anybody that's facing any type of situation that they feel like may be, you know, overbearing and shit. Like, you know what I mean? We got to live life. Like, so that's what it's about. So when we do this shit, when I roll this shit out, y'all read it, y'all see this shit, y'all love it, y'all share it, put it to the kids. I know I'm gonna have some type of like a raffle because I'm always giving back. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna have a raffle for the shit. Um, and we just gonna have fun with this shit though, for real. Like, you know what I mean? I want people to feel comfortable about this purchase. Like, you know what I mean? I got the ebooks, the audio books. I'm gonna have
Oh, nine.
everything. Yeah, everything. A part of my contract is everything online from the ebook, so you can download the ebooks. If you just want the children just to listen to it, it's there. Like, you know what I mean? So everything is there. What's up?
Whenever you whenever you either get the first copies of them things or you got a date or a projected date, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna have to
Yeah,
plug that in there for sure.
that's a
I
fact.
know it's still, you know, it's that work in progress type shit, you know, just going through the whole thing, but
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
already took care of the business side. Like, the business
Right.
side
So
is
it's
taken care
rolling.
of.
It's already moving.
So I just gotta wait, just like you said, to get back the copies, and then, like, you know what I mean. So the business side is done.
Yeah, nah, that's up.
Yeah. So when I get back these copies, then it's good and shit. But again, I just want to have fun with this one, man. It's my first book project, so it's different. It
Yeah,
took me a minute to fucking understand it and get it and see how to move. Just like I said, I'm used to either consignment or I'm used to digital distribution when it comes down to music. But again, a part of my contract is getting a fucking mentor to break down the game to me. And I hit her with 1,000 questions every time I talk to her. Like, you know what I mean? Like, hey, well, how
Yep,
does this
got
shit
to.
work? What is this shit doing? How do I move this? And then that's how I came to the conclusion, like, hey, fuck Barnes and Noble. Like, I told her just like that. Like, looking like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like,
for
fuck Barnes
real.
and Noble. Like, I'm doing this shit like this. Because she was, in the beginning, I have to say this part. In the beginning, she was saying, like, hey, like, well, well, do you just want to do this deal? Because there's a lot of different deals that you could do. And the initial deal, because she was ultimately trying to save me money. And I was just like, yeah, but with that situation, it was more or less just the digital shit, just the internet. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you order this shit online and then, it's like that. But I'm like, nah, like I gotta go talk to the people. I gotta touch the people. I gotta see where the shit is at. I want to, you know what I mean? Like all the shit. So um it comes like the deal that I signed, it comes with like a lot of it does have internet and digital shit. To where it's just like, you can see what my book, like I think it's like a third of what the book looks like. And I'm gonna blast that shit, via YouTube and social media and video and shit like that, just so you can see it. But still, my thing is, I still want to touch the people. So, um, just talking to her, it just gave me a broader aspect on how this book game go. Like, you know what I mean? And just like I'm learning, and I'm still learning. Like every time I talk to her, just like I said, I have 1,000 questions. We talk for at least an hour every time I call her, and we just build shit. And yeah, it's I feel real good about the business side. I already feel good about the book itself, but like this is my business as well, so I gotta feel good about the business side as
On
well.
both
So
ends and shit.
yeah, exactly. So just learning the business about it, just like okay, and then seeing where people is at, opposed to let these niggas run your shit and whoop you, or like you know what I mean,
You
like
run it
niggas
on your own and shit. You know what I'm saying?
and nigga you
That's the
negotiate how
only
you
way to
negotiate.
do it, man. That's really
Yeah,
the only way to do it.
yeah. I always encourage everybody to put in that footwork themselves. You know,
Yeah.
and it may cost you a little bit more, but on the back end, you get a lot more uh, for the energy that you put in and shit. Like you know what I mean. And I've always been on that type of time. Like I've always been able to, or willing and ready to, support myself and put my own projects out and make shit pop like that. So at that point in time, it's just like
Be on the
really
lookout, man. Be on the lookout. That
yeah.
shit coming.
Um, I'm
It's
gonna
on the
say, I'm
way.
gonna say, I'm gonna say it should like when I get the shit, it should be late of next month. So around
We gonna
if
keep
I'm
pushing it. Nigga,
yeah,
that
no, so
shit, that
yeah,
shit, every week until that shit out, nigga,
like you
it
get to
better
the
be a
top, yeah.
plug. You know what I'm saying?
So until I think around Thanksgiving is around the time that it should be done. Um, but I was telling people like around like Christmas time and shit, but Thanksgiving I should have all the shit that I need. Um, and then I think around that time or early December is when I'm gonna roll it out. So y'all gonna catch me again first time in SAC. I'm gonna be out there wherever I'm gonna be at, booth, table, food out there, like all the shit, kid friendly situation. And it's gonna be up, like you know what I mean. But after that, like you know what I mean. If I gotta send it to you, I gotta send it to you. I accept PayPal, Cash App, whatever we gotta do just to make the business happen. But I promise y'all gonna love this book. The children gonna love this book. To where it's either you're narrating the book as you read it, or if you get the ebook and then you hear somebody else spill it. Like you know what I mean. It's up. What you said? What? Hey, you muted right now.
I
I
said,
don't know
shout
who
out
this
to the chat. I don't know who that
is.
is either. I try to get that
I
shit
was
up out of
looking
here,
at
but it
this.
wasn't
Like,
it wasn't working. So I'm like, fuck it. But we got our first troll, man. All right, for sure.
probably,
You know,
hey, we didn't had Nazi trolls and all
yeah,
type.
we didn't have the Nazi trolls for sure. We got a different one today.
That's a
But
fact. But shout out, just like So said, shout out to the chat, man. Um,
yeah,
my lives matter. Just please, before you make a decision on that, just kind of look at it from both sides. It's just like when we had that Black Lives Matter movement, it's just like, was that do y'all still subscribe to that? Do y'all see? See, I don't even want to get into that. But do y'all see Black Lives Matter out right now? I ain't seen none of that shit.
no, I ain't seen none of that.
And see, and my thing is like, we don't need to say that we matter if we know that we matter. What's understood does not need to be said. Why does it need to be said? We already know it's up. Like, you know what I mean? And we gotta have that mentality. I think that's what that movement is. Like, we don't need to play victim niggas up. Like, you know what I mean? So, in my opinion, again, what Kanye was doing with that shit was just saying, "Hey, niggas up. Maybe we need to give the oop to these."
Man, you never know, man. They gonna have to. Hey, shit.
Hey,
I ain't. A lot of that shit,
whatever you
I be letting that shit like
say.
y'all deal with all the entertainment shit. Y'all got it.
Hey,
I sit back and just watch from the sidelines and shit. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. For the ones that it's supposed to tap it, like for the ones that it's supposed to touch, I hope it touch you niggas. Hopefully that shit will change some shit up. You know how it's supposed to, but
yeah,
it is what it
but
is, man.
even with the social media situations or the hot topics, um, it'll probably last for like, because we're in an instant age, so ain't shit lasting past 2 weeks for sure, unless it's an ongoing occurring situation. But that shit ain't gonna last like that. You know what I mean? Kanye gonna drop. Niggas could talk all they want, but this nigga Yeezys is selling off the motherfucker. Even after the MAGA shit, this nigga Yeezys is up. Like, you know what I mean? Just like you were saying about promotion shit. But as far as the relationship wise, when it comes down to, people creating people, just make sure if you feel like that you got somebody that's creating your situation, it's cool to look at them, but look in self first. You gotta know what you said. You gotta know thyself
Tap
to
in the self to know thyself.
know thyself. Yeah, that's a fact.
But
But other
nah,
than that,
bro.
go out and play. It's gonna be in stores
Yeah.
everywhere digitally next month. I'm gonna have physical copies. I'm gonna have physical copies before they go to digital and shit. So it's up. And then after that,
Man.
if I can't reach y'all, then digital for sure.
This way. Yes, sir, man. Once again, subscribe, like, share the channel if you can. If you found some information that you can utilize for self or people that you may know, you know what I'm saying? Just help
Definitely.
push the channel. And yeah, man,
Yeah.
I'm about to go lay it the fuck down.
Woo, man, I
Chill
feel
the
it.
fuck out, man.
That sounds about right.
Till the next one, I will figure out, I guess, like we always do throughout the week, what's
Yeah.
popping for next week. So just stay tuned, Facebook and all that type of stuff
Yeah.
for
Shout out
that.
to the chat. I'm in Facebook jail right now and shit for
He'll be
24
back
hours.
tomorrow. He'll be back.
I'll be back. Next week is up.
They're gonna
You gotta
unlock
understand
him. You know
that.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes, sir,
But
man.
yeah.
Another one. Free your mind. Peace.